All right, we live.
All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. Welcome to Goat James Kingdom Show with B. Lee and A. Johnny as we go live every Sunday to talk the GOAT conversation in basketball. Thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel. You can also catch us on Facebook as the show goes live there. Also, provided by StreamYard. This week's show, okay, is going to be part two of what we did last week. Okay, this week's show is going to basically be an expansion of the greatest players in NBA history. We took our top 25 greatest players. Last time we took the top 10 most common players, okay? Not our players, the most common players. This time we're taking our top 25 players and we're going to use the criteria that we used, which is a non-biased criteria. We are trying to create a non-biased, completely objective criteria to put a list together of the greatest players that ever done it. We have people talking a lot on our Facebook and other accounts, but they have yet to provide us a list nor a criteria of their own. All they do is keep commenting and showing us how subjective they can be. We can be subjective. We never told you guys we were not subjective. We told you we're trying to create a objective criteria. So we're gonna come with this one again. We're gonna add 25 players to this list, and we're gonna see who's the greatest players of all time. B. Lee has his list. He has his criteria. I have mine. You guys are more than welcome to join us. And we can discuss this because if you're a real basketball fan, this should be an easy discussion for anybody. So let's get to it, man. Let's show them what we got for them.
All right.
Man, let's show them. All right.
All right. So there's your criteria. If you want to explain it again.
Okay, yes. So I did an adjustment, right? Because we had a discussion about it. I did an adjustment to the criteria because a lot of people didn't like that I meshed all those accolades together under one particular thing, right? And the real reason I did that was because I did not want to do the 0.5. I didn't want to go to the 10th decimal and having to count all those numbers. But I said, you know what? I can be more objective, right? I can, if it's an issue, let's be more objective. So let's go off the accolades and achievements first, right? So the accolades and achievements are still going to be ranked by 5. Is going to be the highest number. So the ring is the most important thing. Every player wants to be a champion. Every player gets a ring if you are a champion. So you get 5 points for being a champion. Then the MVP would be the next thing. You're the league MVP. That's 4.5 points. Then there's the All NBA team that's going to get you 4 points. Then there's the all defensive team that gets you 3.5 points. Then there's the finals MVP that's going to get you 3 points. There's the all star that gets you 2.5. Then you have defensive player of the year get you 2 points. Seasonal leaders or awards get you 1.5. All star MVP is 1 point, and rookie of the year is 0.5. Now, the reasons I did this is because I'm going to explain it as simple as possible. And I know, Brandon, you felt that you had a different way of putting it together, which I'm going to ask
Mhm.
you to give it to me. So because I'm going to take everybody's, right. I'm going to actually post this on our Facebook. I'm going to post it. I'm going to list all these accolades, and I want you guys to tell me where you would rank them from the highest to the lowest prestigious award. Now, again, we're trying to figure out who's the best player. We're using these accolades and stats to figure out who's the best player. So for me, right, I stated it last week. The championship's the most important thing. Being the league MVP, no matter how subjective the voting is or how we want to argue about how the voting is done, is still the most prestigious individual award a player can get. All right. That's the award that goes to you as a player for what you do. You're at least top 3 player in the NBA. You understand? So then from there, you go to the All NBA. You know what I'm saying? Because the All NBA actually, like I said, it's been there since the beginning of the NBA's inception, but it's also reflection on being a part of the best players in the NBA. That's what it's called, the All NBA. Your overall production and what you do, and it's actually not predicated on your team's success like the MVP and winning a championship. Or let's just say finals MVP, because you actually have to be in the finals to get the finals MVP, right? Because I know a lot of people think the finals MVP is a prestigious award, which it is. But the All NBA shows how good you are by yourself as a player. Then there's the All Defense, right? Then you got the All Defensive Selection, which shows that you're one of the greatest defenders on the court. So that should be right there with it. Then you have the Finals MVP, which shows that you were the best player in the best moment, the biggest chance, the biggest time, right? That's the biggest opportunity. And then from there, you have all the other ones. The All-Star. The reason I say the All-Star is better than Defensive Player of the Year because I've never heard anybody say Tyson Chandler is better than Chris Bosh. I've never heard anybody say Mark Gasol is better than Kevin Love because he was Defensive Player of the Year. I always hear being an all-star is actually better than being all NBA and all defensive players to everybody else, right?
Are all defensive teams better than all NBA?
Or even that, right? Because again, we already know and this is the thing, and the reason this is for me, this is completely objective because my subjectiveness would actually put the All-Star above Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP. But to show you guys how objective the way I put this is, the top two are awards that LeBron does not have the most of. The top the top five, four of the top five, LeBron James does not have more than Michael Jordan in. Okay. 6 of the top 8, Michael Jordan has more than LeBron James in. So if I was going to make a subjective criteria to help LeBron James, I would have put in the 2 that LeBron James had higher. I didn't do that. I went off of what the accolades represent as far as the overall. And for me, it would still be different because I would have All-Star, MVP a little bit higher. I would have Defensive Player of the Year down a little bit lower and stuff of that nature. I would definitely be a little bit more subjective than what I have it here. But you had your own, so I wanted to hear how you would rank it. So how would you rank it, Brandon?
All right. Accolades. So hold up. All right. So let me pull it back up then. All right. So let me see. You got the ring is the most.
The ring is going to be number 1. So let's not worry about the ring. Let's just start from MVP and all NBA and all of those things underneath. Where would you rank?
Well, I'll start with the ring. Then you got the MVP. So the regular season MVP does not hold more weight than a Finals MVP.
Okay.
So to me, if that was the case, Steph Curry would have been in the top 10, according to some people. Like as soon as he got that Finals MVP, he was pushed into the top 10. And if Kevin Durant was on that team or someone else would have got that Finals MVP, we wouldn't be talking about Steph Curry in the top 10.
Okay.
Finals MVP holds more weight than the regular season MVP.
Personally, to me, I don't think he needed it, but like you said, it's true. People did use it against it. Go ahead. But all right, so you said Finals MVP.
Well, Steph definitely needed to be the best player on the Finals team.
I don't think he didn't need it. He didn't need it.
He definitely needed that.
All right, so Finals MVP first, and then MVP second, or
if not, they could be tied. And then
no ties. There's no ties. One has to be above the other. There's no ties.
It would definitely be Finals MVP because
okay. That's cool.
Yeah, that's the.
No, you listen. You're not being judged. I just want to list.
Let me see. All defensive.
Okay.
All-Star. I will put a seasonal award above Defensive Player of the Year. No one thinks Rudy Gobert should get more points than someone leading the league in scoring.
Okay. All right. But after MVP is going to be all NBA and all defensive like that down the line.
Yeah. All defensive. All-Star.
All NBA, all defense, All-Star, and then you said you would put seasonal awards before Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I would. Seasonal awards.
And then after that is Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep. Then All-Star, then Rookie of the Year.
Okay. All right. So All-Star, MVP, and then Rookie of the Year. All right, so that'll work. So like I said, I want folks to literally give me yours. I don't care
chime in the chat what y'all think should be the order.
Whatever the order should be, and I'm gonna take that list and I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna rank them by how everybody did it, and then I'm gonna redo the accolades and achievements after that. We'll talk about that. But like I said, you know what? This is for me. I feel this is the most objective way. If it was subjective, it would be different. Like I said, I would put All-Star in front of MVP. I would have Defensive Player of the Year in front of Finals MVP. I would have Finals MVP and All-Star MVP close together. And then it would be, season awards and Rookie of the Year to finish it off. That would be my subjective way of doing it. But we're not doing subjectiveness. And then the stats here are going to be ranked as this. Obviously, adding 25 players, you're going to be ranked in your statistical categories from your regular season and postseason averages and totals. So if you're first in any one of those categories, as far as blocks, rebounds, points, assists, and steals, you're going to get 25 points. And if you're last, 25th, you get 1 point. All right, so that's going to be how the statistical ranking is going to go with the achievements as far as the accolades and achievements. So let's start off with the accolades and achievements. Somebody said Rookie of the Year should be higher.
I don't think so.
I kind of thought so too, but then looking at who won and who didn't win, Kobe doesn't have one.
I don't think so. Again, even the players who win Rookie of the Year, they don't win any like awards throughout the season.
Yeah, again, this is something that, like I said, that has to determine who's the better player. Because, like you said, to me, Jared Jackson being the blocks leader is not better than Marcus Smart winning Defensive Player of the Year, or better than being an All Defensive Player or All NBA player. It's a good accolade to have, but to me, nobody ever says, the guy who led in assists this year is better than an All Star. Some to that effect. But like you said, as somebody who has a Rookie of the Year, does it really make them that much greater than anybody else? It's good to have on your resume. It's a bonus point type of thing, which I would believe the last 3 or 4 are bonus points literally when you see this here.
Yeah,
so
I think someone like Joel and B is ranked higher than Rudy Gobert for winning Defensive Player of the Year, or whoever won. I think it was Scotty Barnes who won Rookie of the Year. Joel Embiid, being the scoring leader outweighs the Rookie of the Year about 10 times.
No, I know exactly. And for those who got in the big clash, right? Because people like Carmelo Anthony didn't win it. People like Kobe didn't win it. People like Hakeem didn't win it. And they all had great rookie seasons, but because where they were drafted and what class they were in, they couldn't win the award. So, Magic Johnson don't have one. You see what I'm saying? So
in like 1989, no one said Mark Jackson was better than Jordan. Jordan led the league in scoring, and Mark Jackson won Rookie of the Year. We have never heard that.
And talking about Rookie of the Year and some great players not having it. In reality, the Defensive Player of the Year, out of the 25 players that I have on my list, only 4 of them have actually won Defensive Player of the Year, literally. So let's go to the achievements and let's bring up those first. All right. So the way we did the achievements and the way I'm doing it is similar to what Brandon did last week. You're going to get a totals for being in the achievements and the accolades section, and you're going to get one for being in the regular season and one for the postseason. And for the the greatest player that has the most accolades and achievements, by the point system that I put together, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's really no, you know what I'm saying? Like, no surprise, right? He has the most MVPs. He has the most all-star selections. He has a bunch of all NBA, all defensive selections. He has a Rookie of the Year. He has rebounding titles, blocking titles, scoring titles. So, you know what I mean? He has everything. He has 6 championships. After that, you have Michael Jordan, obviously, with Michael Jordan's great illustrious career. They were the only 2 to crack 200. But then you go down the list, you can see who the players are. Are there any surprises here, Brandon?
Well, Steph is last. That's a surprise that he's above Wade. I would think.
I mean, because he doesn't have a bunch of all NBAs. He doesn't have no all defensive
selections. Well, he only got like 8 and 0 all defensive, so that makes sense.
He only has 8 all-stars also.
Hondo's pretty high, but most people don't know about him. Yeah, they only think that he's put in place to discredit Jordan.
No, Hondo is high. He has 8 championships, obviously going to help him, but he has a lot of all NBAs. He has a lot of all defensive selections. He has a lot of all-stars.
Yeah, Bird's kind of low. He had 14, but
Bird and Magic are really a shock in this whole thing as we go down the line.
It was a shock for me too, but
I mean, again, looking at it, Tim Duncan, obviously, because he has all defensive, all NBAs. He has so much, Kobe's going to be high. Wilt's not that high, but again, as y'all can see, these are the players, these are their accolades based off of the accolades that we talked about in the criteria. So let's go to the regular season totals and numbers. And if we go to that, it's not really a surprise either, right? It would be Wilt Chamberlain. Now, the way I did the regular seasons, I did it like I did last time, is that I gave Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell tops and steals and blocks, but I also did the same thing for Bob Pettit, because Bob Pettit played in the 50s and, in the 60s, that's where it's going to be at. He's third. He's going to be basically behind Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. And then what I did for people like Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, and Hondo is that they actually have an actual stat for blocks and steals, because the last year of Oscar's career and also Jerry West, they counted blocks, 1974. So I just took their average and multiplied it by the games played, and I created a total for them. And that's where they land at. And if you look here on the left-hand side is the regular season average and who ranked the highest there. And on the left side is the regular season average. On the right side is the regular season totals. And then in the middle is both those numbers put together and who ranks the highest. And obviously Wilt Chamberlain ranks the highest because his totals, he's top 5 in 4 categories. So he's gonna score over 100. The max you can get is 500, and he's gonna give you that. So, who is that?
Who that got a lot of static in there?
Okay.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but there's a lot of static.
Yeah, there's a lot of static in your phone.
Okay.
You're gonna have to be in a quiet place, my friend.
Yeah.
Go ahead and mute him, please.
Can't keep unmuting yourself.
Yeah, don't unmute yourself or we're going to take you out of the show. If you can't find a quiet place to be and do the show and respect us as men and come on the show as, as respectable individuals, and be in a good quiet spot, then, please, you're not welcomed. But let's continue. So, so this is the regular season totals. You know what I'm saying? Here it's not too much of a shock because we know with the regular season, there's a lot of great players, but again, Steph is a surprise. He scores low in totals because he doesn't have that much totals. People don't understand Stephen Curry's career is long, but he doesn't have the totals to show it. Karl Malone was a surprise. Not too much of a surprise, but he was really a surprise. And what I did for Dr. J and Moses Malone is that I also added their ABA numbers. So their numbers are going to be reflected with ABA and NBA stats. Like I said, I'm being objective. I'm not trying to exclude anything. I'm giving everybody the props due for what they did on the basketball court as being a great player. So Wilt Chamberlain wins this. The top 5 is Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, LeBron James, Bob Pettit, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Then if you want to finish the top 10, you have Jordan, Dr. J, Akeem, Karl Malone, and Jerry West. Those would be the regular season greatest players of all time, top 10 on this list. What you think, Brandon?
All right. One thing that I did with the blocks and rebounds for like the players that have it, I just didn't include those. So those did not get included in mine. Before I was giving them like a perfect score for it. Okay. But they were like making their average go up so much that I didn't think it was fair because we really don't know. So I just didn't include them. They were still ranked high without it anyway. So they didn't really need it. Like any advanced stat that wasn't in there, I just did include it. I didn't include all defensive teams for Russell and Wilt because Russell would have probably got it every year. He didn't get it every year, even when they started, like towards the end of his career. He got like 3 of them or something.
He got like 2 of them. He got 69 and 70. So and
then the first like 2 years they did it, he didn't get any. It was weird. But I just didn't include that, so they didn't lose any points or gain any points. So that's just what I did on mine.
So, but how did you? Well, I guess you'll explain it on your end. Go ahead.
So Wilt. I think Wilt and Kareem was the number ones on mine. So the averages was Wilt. The totals was Kareem. But the overall was Kareem as well. About it was a slight margin because they was like 1 and 2, like real close to each other. Every time I did it. Okay. Averages, looks pretty good. I know West is up there pretty high for mine too. So yeah, Jerry was pretty high. Totals, a lot of the totals for like the older players are not as high because they didn't play as long. So I can understand that. Besides, Wilt and Russell, their totals are pretty high for rebound. So they just get so much from those. And Dr. J, I see he's up there, which he should be.
And that's the thing too, because what this does, because when you rank high in a particular category, like you said in rebounds, right? Normally big men are going to be ranked high in rebounds and blocks, and then guards or perimeter players going to be high in assists and steals. But when you rank high across the board, you're going to get higher scoring. Like Dr. J really, like he averaged over a steal a game, over a block per game. You know what I'm saying? He actually averaged over 2 steals per game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like his numbers across the board were just always in the middle. He was either high or in the middle. He never ranked low in anything. Him and Larry Bird was one of the 2 that I noticed that, and obviously LeBron James. But that's what it is. That's who's the regular season champ. So let's go to the postseason and see who win the postseason. So this is the postseason champ, and it obviously this is not a surprise neither because LeBron James has all the statistical stats as far as it comes to the playoffs. He's played the most games, he's won the most games, he's won the most series for as far as the elite players go. And if you look at the left, that's going to be the postseason averages. You look at the right, that's the postseason totals. And basically, when you put those two numbers together, LeBron James has the most accomplishments as far as his stats go in the playoffs. Then Wilt Chamberlain comes behind him, Bill Russell, Michael Jordan is in the top 5 here. He cracks the top 5. Larry Bird cracks the top 5. Then you round it off with Bob Pettit, Dr. J, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Akeem Olajuwon, and Jerry West. So when I always tell people about Jerry West and how great Jerry West was and how the reason why he's the logo, you know what I'm saying? People really don't understand how great Jerry West is. But when you look at these numbers, like I said, this really puts it in perspective because they're going up against one another. So these are showing where they rank amongst one another. This is not nothing than just putting their stats up against one another and seeing how high they be. And as you can see, Scottie Pippen is top 10 in postseason totals here as far as his ranking. And the numbers that he put up, he actually did better than Michael Jordan. He's definitely somebody that people sleep on, that we always talk about, give good credit and try to show that he should get more credit. So at the end of the day, when you take these 3 categories and you put them together, when you take the postseason winner, the regular season winner, and achievement and accolades winner, you get my top 25 greatest players of all time. And who ranks top 5? I mean, who's number 1? We all know it's GOAT James. You know what I'm saying? Whatever y'all want to say. Like I said, I am completely objective on this. And I can show you how subjective I can be in a second. But this is me being completely objective. This is my non-biased list. I challenge you to come up with a better criteria and a better list by being more objective and more non-biased than me. LeBron James is number 1. He scores 552 points altogether. Then Wilt Chamberlain, which was a shock, is number 2. Then you have Kareem. Then you have MJ. Then you have Bill Russell. Tim Duncan jumps to number 6, which I have him like around 7th, 8th on my real list. So it's not really a surprise. But Akeem jumps up in the top 10. He's 7th. Dr. J is 8th. Which I have Dr. J in my top 10 also. Kobe Bryant goes to number 9. Bob Pettit goes to 10th. Okay, I know a lot of people is going to be upset about that. He's ahead of Bird. Then you got Shaq, West, Karl Malone. Magic Johnson ends up being 15th on my list without any subjectiveness of any kind. Scottie Pippen's right behind him at 16th. Then you got Kevin Garnett, John Havlicek. Dwayne Wade is behind Scottie Pippen because Scottie Pippen has a better career, like I've always stated. Then you have Kevin Durant, which is a surprise to me because I don't even have Kevin Durant in my top 30, but he's obviously a top 20 greatest player of all time for facts. And then you have, David Robinson, Moses Malone, Dirk Nowitzki, Oscar Robertson, and Stephen Curry is the last player on this list because Stephen Curry doesn't have enough achievements and accolades to really put him above anybody. He has a lot of game impact and subjectiveness that would make him one of the greatest players ever, but his stats and his accolades don't show it. So that's my top 25. What you got, Brandon? Give it to me.
All right. So, Wilt's kind of high, just like I said before, because of those other stats that's wasn't included. We all know that he would probably average a triple-double for his career, but the stats are just not included. Yeah. He's still 5th in mines, but and then Bob Pettit is pretty high. I wouldn't put him above Bird and Shaq, but he's pretty high. But just like you said, the like statistics back in those days, he would have probably been close to a triple double as well.
We could take him out, right? So let's take out Will, let's take out Russell, and let's take out Pettit, right? So that will move everybody up 3 spots.
Yeah, so it would be you got to take out West too. If we just want to go to the modern day players,
I guess
Magic would be what, 10th? Let me see. You got to take out 4.
Yes, close. Because the thing about West is because I was surprised when I went and look up West numbers. Right, he averaged 2.6 steals on his.
Yeah, I was surprised
year.
Too.
2.6 steals for his last NBA season. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, that's a lot of assists. That's a lot of steals to and average 0.7 blocks. So in my mind, what would he be if he was? You know what I'm saying? If he was You feel me? Like if he was playing in
Yeah.
the 60s, if it was available. My top
Okay.
10 list is LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Wilt, Magic, Shaq, Kareem, Russell, Curry. 10. No, Curry and then
Well,
Bird.
do you mind if I put in a little bit of input when it comes to Jerry
Oh,
West?
yeah, you
Okay, yeah,
can.
you go ahead because you sound clear now. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you look at West statistics, the fact that he averaged 27 per game, it's not really surprising. Seeing as how back in the 60s the game was a little bit faster, so teams averaged what 120 possessions per game, what in 61, 62, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. In the
So
'60s, it was
his
like
stats,
115.
Uh-huh.
yeah, his stats would probably dip a little bit when you compare him to modern players like Kobe or Jordan or LeBron. So I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't really be too surprised with his numbers. Just know it was a product of his era. That's all I wanted to say.
No, I get that, and that's always something people want to bring up. Brandon will bring that up when he brings up
Yeah.
his criteria. For me, like I said, that would be being subjective. That would be saying okay, because we have to judge them for what they played, where they played. They played at a faster pace because they played the basketball at a
True. True.
more natural way of playing basketball. Right? They played basketball the way the game was actually made to be played. Another thing about Jerry West, we don't want to. He doesn't have 3-pointers. If there was 3-pointers, how much more points would he have? So that's what I'm saying. We can be that's why I always tell people when it comes to being subjective, it's like a coin. We could always flip it. You know what I'm saying? I could easily say, hey, if Jerry West was playing in the 90s and he was able to shoot 3-pointers and get three, three free throws for shooting a 3-point and all this other extra stuff, how great would they be? I mean, they played grueling games in those eras where they were playing 3 nights in a row and then taking a day off and then coming back and playing another 3 days in a row. Like they were playing 5 or 6 games a week. You know what I mean?
True.
On
But
flat top.
I can as
Mm-hmm.
easily say, what if MJ had an extra 20 possessions per game where he can boost his statistics? It can go either way.
Yeah, but I can say that MJ doesn't have those possessions because in his era the skill level wasn't proper enough. That's why the pace dropped in the 90s so bad because the skill era got horrible with the rule changes and everything. It slowed down the pace because there wasn't that many people who could actually get good shots off. So
You think that the skill era decreased from the 60s onwards towards the 90s, not the opposite. That's what you think, right?
yes, because the 60s had only 8 to 10 teams. So you're talking about the best crop players were playing there. So they were all the players were skilled. You see what I'm saying? And when the NBA expanded in the 90s, they were bringing in players that would not normally be professionals. There were so many good players.
Relative to their era, though, right?
No, skilled to the point to where they can actually be productive on the court to do something. The 90s pace was slowed down because the guards were not that skilled enough to create their own shot. So you still went to the post all day long. So that would slow the game down. When you have guards like Oscar Robinson, Jerry West, and all these guys who can create their own shots and they're moving the ball at a faster pace, you're gonna have better basketball.
You just named 2 players out of that era.
Yeah, you got Elgin Baylor.
I wouldn't say in general they had better like say ball handling or dribbling. I
No,
wouldn't
I'm
say
saying
that. And
I
if you
was
look at the shooting percentages back then, they were
mm-hmm.
kind of terrible, weren't they? So it's
Yeah,
not
that was
like
pretty low.
the
No,
shooting would
they
translate
were
that well.
no the shooting again. The thing is, you still have to judge them for their arrow, how they're getting their shots off, how they're creating their shots.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. The way you create your shots in the 90s that's what created the slower pace. It's because the way the game was played in the 90s, it was a slower pace because you couldn't necessarily let someone like Raheem go off every game. You couldn't do that. That had to evolve later on with the rule changes. But the way the game was played in the 60s, the guards had to play a certain way. The ball pace, they had to move the ball a certain way. They had to play differently. It had to be different. And we can't punish them for that. We can't, you know what I'm saying? The same. I'm not going to punish Jordan for not being able to play at a faster pace, but that's just the pace Jordan played in. We have to judge them for what they did. Like I said, we can be subjective. I'm not telling you can't. But once we go there, it's no longer objective. It's no longer non-biased. It's us now inserting
isn't your criteria kind
mm-hmm.
of subjective too? Because you're putting more weight in certain awards than you are in other awards, aren't you?
I'm glad that you said that because I would like you to give me your weight on how you would create those awards.
Well, I don't put too much weight on awards in general. I kind of look at performance. I think awards are kind of too subjective for me.
Okay,
I don't think it accurate.
so
I don't think
so
it
if we
was
eliminate,
accurate. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so if we eliminate awards and accolades, we're gonna stick to what? Just stats, correct?
No, not just stats. Impact and performance.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Impact
Yeah,
and performance
how would
is
you judge
subjective. We can't
impacts
judge
without
that.
stats?
Yeah,
Box plus
you can.
minus.
You can. You can. Well, not just box plus minus. It's a collection of things.
Agreed.
Um, let's take the year Michael Jordan. Let's say his rookie year, right? The Bulls had won what 27 games before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this guy comes in.
Mm-hmm.
He takes that terrible team, right? Gives
Mm-hmm.
gives them what 15 plus wins. He averages what?
Mm-hmm.
10.
He led them in points, rebounds, assists, and steals as a rookie,
He gave him
right?
like 10 extra wins.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they would have missed the
Okay.
playoffs without that production. So that's what I would call impact.
They
Okay,
made
but
the
my
playoff
question.
the
To
final years with 30 wins.
No,
So
but
they
hold
would have
up.
probably made the playoff still.
Yeah, but my question is how do you judge that impact compared to someone like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar who joined the league and did a better job at making it the team that he joined a better team since from the year before to the year he is on the team? How
Our
can
Larry
you?
Bird.
Yeah, exactly. How do you change? How do you judge that and create an actual
Yeah,
a criteria
so
enough to where to make it wins
I would
better?
just look at Kareem's. I would go and look at Kareem's individual years, year by year. Let's
No, no,
take
no, 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 no. But you
75,
can't. Hold on.
76.
You
No, but you
can't
can't
judge
do
a
that.
career like that.
You can't. You just said you just used Michael Jordan's impact from when he became a rookie to what the team was before he was on the team. You have to do the same thing for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. How would you judge those two factors? As which one is the better impact or more impactful?
Well, I would say who had to do more to get their team where they were. That's what I would say.
Again, how would you
Yeah,
do
how would
that,
you do
brother?
that?
How would you do
Yeah.
that?
Just look at what they do, what they did to produce the stats they produced on the team.
Okay, so
MJ for
stats.
his
Hold on,
team,
wait. So you just said stats. So stats actually are a factor, correct?
I didn't say they weren't a factor. I never said that.
You
I said it
said
was a
stats
combination of things.
and combination, but
Yeah.
what other? How would you get that with if you put stats in one in one place? Where would you put the other impact at? Like how would you get the impact? Like what would we look to get the impact? That's what we're asking.
Can you repeat that question one more time? I'm not sure that I understand what you said.
Yeah, he's
You're
going in
breaking,
and
yeah,
out.
you're breaking in and out now. We really can't hear you. What up, Da? What up, Chad? I see you guys join in. Thanks for joining us.
Peace.
Hey, so Da, I'm gonna let you go first because you know you a superstar here. So let me know
Appreciate
what
that.
you. Okay, hold on, but
Appreciate that.
all right, so, no, but go back to that, Brandon. Go back to what we have up there. All right, so before we get going and let DA talk, to the right, y'all, is my subjective, completely biased top 20 list. And to round off my top 20 list, I have Moses Malone, KG, Dirk Nowitzki, David Robinson, and Scottie Pippen, right? If you look at these two different lists, you can see the difference between me being subjective and me being trying to be as non-biased as possible. Okay, you can clearly see that. I have Larry Bird and Magic Johnson in my top 5 because of my biases, because of my subjectiveness. I believe it doesn't matter what the stats or the accolades approve here to me compared to all these other players. I still think they're better, right? Because of my subjectiveness. No one's saying you can't have that. I'm not saying you can't be that way. I'm just saying if you're going to try to be objective, show us this objectivity and bring it to the table. And that's what I did. So you can see there's a big difference between me trying to be objective and taking my biases out to what it looks like when I'm being biased and subjective. All right. So go ahead, DA. What you think of my process and what I got going on here?
Let
It's
me go
oh,
back
go
to
ahead.
your
Go ahead, Brandon.
criteria so you can see his criteria.
Yeah, that's the criteria. So and if you can tell me how you would rank the accolades I got to the right. Stop trolling and answer the question, DA.
No, I wasn't trolling. I was just
You
asking.
know you was on Facebook trolling. Stop trolling.
Hold on, pause. When you were talking about the guys who can't create their own shots, so I'm gonna answer your question, but I was getting to guys that you mentioned. So this is a list of guys that don't even include Michael Jordan, might I add. So Tim Hardaway, Chris Jackson, Rod Strickland, Penny Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, Clyde Drexler, Kevin Johnson, Allen Iverson, Jeff Malone, Ron Harper, Dominique Wilkins, Gary Payton. 12 guys. Didn't even mention Jordan. Okay. And there's plenty more that could create their own shots. So That's what I was answering.
I didn't say that there was no players in the 90s that can't create their own shot. I'm telling you by the pace of the game, the way they created the game. There's a reason why Tim Hardaway had to go get Alonzo Mourning. There's a reason why Penny Hardaway had to go get Shaquille O'Neal. There's a reason why it was
a defensive error.
Okay, there's a reason why Kevin Johnson didn't really do too much until he had Charles Barkley, a post player. Same thing with Clyde Drexler, who was a great player. You still needed that post presence because of the pace of the game, because the idea that you thought any one of these players were going to average 30 points per game and take you anywhere like Jerry West was doing, it wasn't going to happen. Go look at Tim Hardaway.
To be honest with you, Jerry West would not came to the 90s and average 30 points a game.
Hey, Brandon, I agree. I agree with that.
Not average 30 points a game in the 90s. Come on now.
You said he wouldn't average 30?
No, he would not average no 30 in the 90s.
Okay. What about 28?
Maybe 20. I ain't know how far he'll be up, but it won't be nowhere near 30 because he will have to shoot the ball a lot of times. He will have to shoot the ball more than Jordan to average 30.
He's going to do that.
And he's not going to average 28
he's
shots
do
a
that.
game.
He's going to take 20.
He's
going to take 20 shots a game.
Huh? And that man was taking 3-point shots in the 60s.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, he's actually a better 3-point shooter than anybody you got listed here.
Wasn't Jerry
besides maybe Mitch Richmond
wasn't Jerry's career field goal percentage like either 49 running up to 50, or was it right at 50?
It's like 46, I think, something like that.
And that's good for his era. That's great for his era.
I'm gonna still give him the benefit of that. I believe he could, but I think he will hover between 28.
Thank you, DA. Thank you, DA.
Yeah, Jerry West would have no 30 points a game.
But Brandon ain't giving him no slack.
Hey, Brandon's gonna give it to us in a minute. Hold on. Before we get to Brandon, I need DA. Give me the ranking. Look it to the right, and tell me how you would rank all of these by the top, from the top to the lowest. Just give me yours, whichever one.
So the list to the right, where you give the rings 5 points. Yeah, I would eliminate that only because rings are a team accomplishment. But if you're using it for your list, hey, I can't argue that.
Okay, so you want to take rings out?
No, hold on. I said I wouldn't give them 5 points. I would give them lower. I would put the rings.
Okay, so what would be number one?
I would put MVPs. Matter of fact, I put Finals MVP number one.
That's what I told him. I said Finals MVP number one.
Okay,
he got it like.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
all right, continue.
I would do that.
Fifth.
All right, continue.
All NBA is solid. I'm biased to defense, so I would raise defense up to at least 4, but 3.5. That's
why would you raise all defense up higher over all NBA?
No, not overall NBA. I would say put it on par. I would put it on par with it. Like I wouldn't put it above.
No, for me, all defensive and all NBA is actually equal, but nothing could be equal. You actually have to put a rank over one. So you actually have to do that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. If it's how we want to do it, it's easy. We can always do what the fuck we want to do. It's a fantasy world. But I'm just saying, let's just try to be objective as possible. So you said Finals MVP, then MVP, right?
Yeah.
Then all NBA.
All NBA, I would keep
all
it
defense,
there. Yeah, all defense. I would bump that up to 4.
So hold on. So you would put a championship under all defense.
Yeah, because that's a team accomplishment. Again, I know
that's fine. That's fine.
I know how people like to use championships in their arguments, but okay, Brandon, this is what I'm talking about. When you put championships
let me hear you say 6-0 then.
Apparently he won't.
I won't use that. Hey, John, I won't use that, bro. That's like putting Robert Horry up there. So if you put Robert Horry on the ring count, he got 5 points.
But he like doesn't have any of the other ones, so it balances each other out.
That's true.
It'll balance out.
That's true. But that's my reason I wouldn't do it. But for someone else who does, that's cool.
Listen, DA, you allowed to have your reason. Fuck Brandon. Okay, go ahead. But
the reason I was gonna put more emphasis on all defense is because for defense, you have to have heart, you have to have grit, and you have to have effort. Like you can't just go out there and just go through the motions and think you're gonna make an all defensive team. Like they gotta see you.
White guys.
They gotta see you. They gotta see you putting your body on the line. I mean, like Dennis Rodman diving out of bounds for rebounds and sacrificing himself on screens. I mean, Hakeem Olajuwon literally blocking. Was it John Starks game-winning shot against the Knicks? You know, just little stuff like that. And
Chris Bosh blocking Danny Green. Of course. LeBron blocking Iguodala. Yeah. I got you.
I mean,
but, Dwayne, I don't think that has anything to do with the all defensive team, but that's just being a defensive player.
I got you. All right. So
So
after all defense, what you got? Come on. What you got? After all defense,
so
you got all-star,
so
you got defensive player of the year.
I
would
raise defensive player of the year up 2 points. I would swap all-star and defensive player of the year. Those two I would swap.
All right, so defensive player of the year, and then the all-star, and then so then from there you got the ring, seasonal awards,
but you do know that the defensive player of the year started in '83, man. So I mean that's going to kill a lot of people.
That's why I have it low too. That's why I have it low too.
So
you know, Bill Russell would have had multiple defensive player of the year awards.
I was just gonna say that. So if we revise history, how many defensive player of the years would Bill Russell have?
I think at least 7.
I agree with that.
Yeah, every bit of it.
Yeah,
well, to be honest with you, Wilt was probably a better defensive player because of what he did impactfully on his team because he was the main player. But who knows how they would have voted in that day?
But
it would have been between those two. It would have been between those two.
Is it fair to say that Bill Russell was a better team defender than Wilt?
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
but
I think so.
The reason I say that is because Wilt was not that personable with the media, so he would have lost a lot of points just off that alone. Bill Russell was more, you know what I'm saying? Because we all know it's a media thing, and we all know these awards like that. All right, so let's just finish off because we gotta get Brandon his time. So we got all stars. Then we got. So where are you gonna put the ring at? Where does the ring go at the bottom?
No, I will put rings under defensive player of the year, and everything else I agree with. When you got seasonal leaders, all-star game MVP, rookie of the year. But yeah, I'm just saying, me personally, I wouldn't put the ring emphasis up there because again, that's a team award. Like if we throw in, what's his name? Not Patrick McCall. What's the little cat? He three-peated. He won 2 with Golden State, then he went to the Raptors.
I know I don't know his name, but just like we said, just like we said, like all of the other stats will basically balance that out because he doesn't have any other stats. So
okay, all right, Chad, give me yours because then we're gonna let Brandon go. Chad, give me yours. Rank from the top to bottom, Chad.
Let me pull it back up.
You heard, Chad?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of with him on the ring thing because I mean, like I say, it's it shouldn't be the top, but I would either have the MVPs or the Finals MVPs up there.
You gotta give me one. Give me one. You gotta give me one, please. It's very important.
One what?
One that's the highest. Which one's the highest? You gotta rank. You gotta give me one that's the higher. You can't give me either or. You have to be one, please. Just give me one. You're not gonna go to jail for this. It's just say it. Just say it.
Probably Finals MVP, man.
All right, so Finals MVP, then MVP is fine because all three of y'all agree that the Finals MVP is more better than MVP. That's fine. And then after the MVP, then it's all NBA, all defensive, down the line like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would go with wait. Let me see. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
All right, and then All-Star is the All-Star before the Defensive Player of the Year or after?
Before it.
Okay. All right, I would agree there too. Because as much as DA don't be listening, he would not have Tyson Chandler better than Chris Bosh, which Tyson Chandler was Defensive Player of the Year and not an All-Star. So
who?
You wouldn't have Tyson Chandler ahead of Chris Bosh, who was Defensive Player of the Year, and Chris Bosh was just an All-Star. But
are we talking about defense or are we talking about overall?
No, we talking overall.
Defensive Player of the Year.
I kind of agree with that other dude, man, with the awards things, though, man, because a lot of it is fan driven, man, and there's so much bias to that.
But don't we count? Shouldn't we count? I mean, it counts to a little bit. That's what I'm saying. Like it's.
Yeah, I mean, it counts. I mean, ain't nobody going to put some scrub up there, but still, there's, like Bradley Beal last year or the year before, where he averaged 30 points a game. He didn't even make an All-Star team, man. Like, what is the criteria there?
Perfect. Perfect analogy.
That's true. But like I said, these are accolades that players, like I said, Klay Thompson gets mad when he gets snubbed for all NBA. Players get mad when they get snubbed for these awards. Embiid is mad he didn't win the MVP. So it means something to them. You know what I'm saying? So, that's something that we could all say. But Brandon,
but the main thing is that these is what separate the greats in the top 25. It's not just anybody in the season who got these awards. So say, for instance, if we're judging someone off greatness, we're going to use these awards as why they are better than someone else. So that's the reason for it. It's not just because someone won a title. that was on the bench. It's not that like if you're Karl Malone and you lead your team to a title, you're going to get more weight than someone who didn't lead a team to a title. And Karl Malone didn't lead, so that's why he gets knocked for that.
Yeah, but the stats will reflect how much you led too. You see what I'm trying to say? So that's why you have to use it. The accolades actually reflect to what your stats. Because like I tell people, you're not gonna find nobody that doesn't deserve to be in the All NBA that's in the All NBA. You see what I'm saying? You're not gonna find somebody that won the MVP that wasn't at least deserving of the MVP. You may argue there was probably one player better or not, but that's like I said, they're still top 3. You're still top 10 if you're all defensive player. You're still a top 10 defender in the league. Like you can't. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like that, you're not going to be a scrub defender and make the all defensive team. You see what I'm trying to say?
Do you use the same reasoning when it comes to defensive player of the year?
The difference between defensive player of the year is that it's been so subjective for a while, and it hasn't been here that long enough. So there's not a real history to understand it. So as an example, is a center really better than a perimeter defender? You understand what I'm trying to say? Like defense is harder to value because Akeem Olajuwon is a great defender in the interior, but he's not great on the perimeter. But then you have someone like Michael Jordan who's great on the perimeter, but not good on the interior. So who's really the better defender?
Yeah, that's like, would you rate Rudy Gobert above Michael and Kobe because he got more defensive player of the year?
Exactly. No. Or is Patrick Ewing worse than Mutombo, who has 4 defensive players of the years?
Now, when you bring up Hakeem, you have to understand Hakeem in his prime with Houston can guard all 5. And if you don't believe me, you can pull it up.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. But that's
Michael Stoll
he can. No, listen, he can, but you're not going to put Akeem Olajuwon on your guard, or you're not going to make him go out there and stick nobody. So that's what I'm saying. He's not gonna win an all defensive team for playing perimeter defense. Is what I'm saying.
I'm talking about like in an isolated situation, like pick and roll, and he switch off. He has the lateral footwork, much like Kevin Garnett, to stay in front of your guard for that.
I got you, but he's not going to. But I'm saying he's not going to make all defensive because of his perimeter.
No,
defense.
Of course not.
That's what I'm saying. And the same thing with Jordan. Jordan's not going to make all defensive because of what he does in the interior. He's going to make it because of steals and his perimeter defense, his on-ball defense. So that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So I don't discredit the defensive player of the year. I'm just saying for me, it's like I said, you are not going to put Tyson Chandler, Chris Bosh, who's actually the all-star. For you guys, all-star is better than all the all-NBAs and all defensive selections.
Defensively, I'm gonna take Chandler, but this is what I was gonna add.
I'm overall.
The player,
No. Overall, no.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna go with an all-star over a defensive player, correct? Of the year, correct?
Right.
Okay.
But this is the reason why the big man gets favored for defensive player of the year, because he's the rim protector. When you get past the perimeter player, who's there to clean up? Your big man. So that's gonna favor him because.
But it didn't start off like that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying.
Right. But you have more centers and big men winning defensive player of the year, right? When you look
at now, yes.
If you put the powerful centers, they're going to outweigh the perimeter players, because when you get to the guards, there's only 2 now: Marcus Smart, Gary Payton. Shooting guards: Michael Jordan and what's his name?
You got
Tony Allen, Michael Cooper,
Tony Allen,
Joe Dumars,
Alvin Robertson. Joe Dumars never won defensive player of the year.
He never won one?
No. It's Moncrief, it's Alvin Robinson, Michael Cooper, Michael Jordan, and you said Tony Allen.
Tony Allen get one?
Yeah, he got one.
No.
Okay.
He got a defensive player of the year, Tony Allen did?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got it right after Paul Gasol got his. Tony Allen got it.
Because I could be wrong.
Tony Allen won a defensive player of the year. I don't think so.
Yeah, he did.
No, I don't think so. Because when I was doing the list, he wasn't on it. I don't remember Tony Allen being on the list.
There's only been 5 or 6.
There's only been 5 shooting guards, and it stopped at
Tony Allen.
That was the first 6 years.
Actually, Tony Allen. Then he actually just like led them in the points.
He didn't actually get the title.
Yeah, see, that's the voting criteria. Yeah, so Tony Allen, prime example, he gets more.
I agree, he should, because he was a hell of a defensive player. I mean,
they go by overall, so that means they take first place, second, and third place votes. So if he gets beat out by Mark Gasol or Tyson Chandler,
they actually just vote for like the defensive player of the year. They actually don't take any like all defensive.
Why did Michael
Why
did Michael Jordan win defensive player of the year?
He got more total votes than Hakeem.
No, I mean,
he don't block the shots.
Was he deserving? Was he deserving?
If you're asking me, yes. He had over 200 steals that season.
Why?
Okay.
Yeah, 200 steals, right?
He had over 200 steals that season. He had over 100 blocks.
How come John Stockton don't have a defensive player of the year? How come Chris Paul don't have a defensive player of the year?
Have they had over 100 blocks in the season?
Motherfucking yeah, dude.
Scotty did it. How come Scotty didn't get that?
Chris Paul. Wait a minute. Chris Paul and John Starks. Wait, you say John
Stockton is the all-time steals leader, dude.
No, yeah,
and it's not even close.
In a season, though, did they ever have over 100 blocks in a season?
100 blocks. But
Scotty well, to be honest with you, Jordan had that. He had 200 steals and 100 blocks, and he wasn't even on the all-defensive team.
The year he won Defensive Player of the Year?
The year he did it, the first time, he wasn't even all defensive.
The only thing that
don't really
So the second year when
Elijah won him was steals.
Well, so basically, that like requirement really wasn't a impact if he did it before, and he wasn't even all defensive.
Okay, but the point I'm making is he got more total overall votes. That's their voting criteria.
Yeah,
I have nothing to do with that. So if the voters said, okay, this guy has more first place votes, Hakeem. But
so basically, everything you said is just get discredited because everything you said just get discredited there because if you just gonna go by the votes.
Got more blocks and more rebounds.
But that's why Defensive Player of the Year is not ranked as high as all these other accolades. I wouldn't put Defensive Player of the Year before the Finals MVP either.
I wouldn't put it before that.
As a matter of fact, I would still think the All-Star MVP. I think the All-Star MVP is important. You're playing against the best players in the game, so like that's like really a good.
No one's playing that hard though. Nobody playing that hard. They
don't play hard enough.
Yeah, they don't play hard
enough. They play hard enough, man. They
play hard in the fourth quarter.
But I'll say this: Jordan winning the Defensive Player of the Year, he was deserving. If somebody want to say, I won't argue that.
Everybody who's won an award, you can say are deserving of the award. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, with your logic, they got the most votes.
They got the most votes.
No. I never got the most votes because I got to include what the man did.
You just said it.
Considered. But that's not my only criteria.
But DA, I'm gonna drop a bomb on you. Out of my top 25, only 4 players actually have a Defensive Player of the Year award, and only one of them actually won it more than once. So it shows you it really doesn't determine how great you are as a player.
I mean, so that's your list. I can't go against that. That's
but my top 25. That's top 25. My top 25 is not that bad. It's to be honest with you. But let's let Brandon go with his top 25. Brandon, it's your time.
All right, we don't even got much time, so I'm gonna just skim through mine real quick.
Because y'all want to watch football. Y'all ain't no real basketball fans.
And so before when I did mine, I just did the percentage of opportunities for whoever has the highest. And for rebounds, I just took our like modern day leaders. So Rodman has the most rebounds. So I just took the percentage from everybody. So Jordan has the most points, Magic most assists, Rodman, this is Mark Eaton, and this is Albert Robinson, I believe. So these are the top categories for averages. For points is Kareem, Stockton, Kareem again. This is Hakeem Olajuwon for blocks. And steals is Stockton. So I just took everybody like how they did compared to the top players, and I did the same thing for advance, for the awards. For my awards, the top award is the MVP, so that counted as bonus points. It counted more than I put all NBA, all defensive, and all-star as the same way. And if you get defensive player of the year, all-star, MVP. I took out the sport news, rookie of the year and award titles, scoring titles. You get bonus points on top of your score. Postseason averages the same. Totals the same. Just whoever was the top. That's what I did. And for my accomplishment, making it to the finals was worth a point. A title was worth 1.5 points, and a finals MVP was worth 2 points. And the reason that I did this because this is the postseason requirements. So this doesn't have anything to do with the regular season requirements. So the main award in the postseason is going to be the finals MVP. The second most important thing in the postseason is winning the title, and the third is making it to the game to actually play. So that's why I counted those differently. So every category is worth a maximum of 10 points, except for the awards and accomplishments. So together it's 50 points total for the regular season and for the postseason. So you could get a score of 100 if you're, the best thing walking, basically. So let me skip ahead a little bit. Overall, so the overall, I just took the points, like I said, regular season 10 points, regular season total is 10 points, advanced 10 points, and then award titles is worth 20. So that gets you to 50 points total. All right. So in the regular season, which we did last week, so I wasn't going to really go over this too much. I got Kareem as the top spot, and Bill Russell as the top spot in the postseason. So Kareem got a 45 out of 50, and Bill Russell got a 42.68 out of 50 in the postseason. So anybody have any complaints about these two top players in their perspective categories?
The fact that they're still there as far as Bill Russell, even though you had to adjust the stuff for them.
Yeah, because if I adjust the stuff, it really only affects Jordan. Jordan got a lot of sporting news MVPs.
Yeah.
I took that out because that's not even given out anymore.
Yeah.
That just gave him like 8.
DA right quick. DA, you got TV in the background. Mute yourself up, please.
Oh, my fault. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Brandon.
So I think Kareem, he didn't have enough to like take him out of the top spot, but it was close between him and Wilt. It was let me see what Wilt had, because it was actually real close between those two. Wilt had 44.65.
Wow.
Yeah, it was real close.
Wow. I mean, again, we all know Wilt Chamberlain, man. The guy's Thanos. I keep telling y'all that Thanos. Man.
Yeah, the regular season, those two are the top. I know they want to say LeBron got all the totals, but LeBron finished like 7th on the list. So,
AB, why do you say Wilt? Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Uh-huh.
No, go ahead.
Real quick, why do you say Wilt is Thanos?
Because if we all saw the Avengers, right? Listen, man, Thanos was a motherfucker, man. Thanos was a badass motherfucker. You needed the whole Avengers and more to beat him. That's what you have to do to beat Wilt Chamberlain. When you look at the record books, if you don't be subjective, if you just look at it, just from your eyes and glance, there's no way you're not going to recognize this man and what he did. Like, he is incredible, bro. The guy's incredible. He's just.
Now, are you talking about regular season?
And the playoffs. In the playoffs, he averaged 22 and 20, man, bro. He still was doing it in the playoffs, but he was a beast.
Okay, so I know me and Ajani talked about this a little. DAM, let me see what your thoughts are. So when Wilt played, the pace was like 110 to 120.
Yeah.
So if we take his same possessions according to like the players in like the 80s, 90s, 2000, it would be so much less. And for me, I was thinking about doing his stats and Bill Russell as per 36, just to even out the playing field, because they play 45 to 48 minutes a game, and there's like 3 players who played over 36 minutes a game besides the players in the 60s. So for me, I think doing per 36 might have balanced out a lot of things, because per 36, Wilt Chamberlain is averaging like 23 points a game.
Okay.
Do you don't think stamina or none of that has anything to do with that?
That's one of the reasons why I didn't do it, because you have to have the stamina, but still.
Can you do more than 25 minutes than you could if you played 50 minutes?
My thing is that why is that a knock on him? Like, why are we knocking him?
It's not a knock. It's just unbalanced.
It's
unbalanced.
That's why he's Thanos. When Thanos came in from
not
another
Thanos
universe,
because it's
he
unbalanced.
No, hold on. Now,
if you give Jordan the same possessions of Wilt Chamberlain, Jordan averaged 50 points a game every year.
No, Jordan is going to be jacking up a bunch of shots and not being able to get to the rim.
Don't do that, AB.
Yes.
Jordan would run past everybody in there anyway, but Jordan would literally average 50 points a game
and he shot 50%
that pace
from the field. Don't do that. But let's stay on Wilt. Now, AB, you got to explain this to me. Wilt Chamberlain numbers as far as points dropped off dramatically from playoff to finals. So when you say he's Thanos, I'm really trying to figure out where is he Thanos, because
I'm gonna explain it to you. I'm gonna explain it to you.
Hold on. His regular season point total is significantly lower than his playoffs. His playoff point total is significantly lower in the finals. So he goes from putting up big numbers regular season, playoffs numbers comes down, finals numbers come down. He averaged 6 points per game in the finals.
Yes.
So when you say he's Thanos, you can't be Thanos when you losing your power as you progress
No,
in the game.
Let me explain
so how's
to
he
you.
Thanos?
Let me explain to you why he's Thanos and why he would still be Thanos with all that you just described.
Okay.
First off, Wilt Chamberlain didn't make his first finals to 1967-68 season. So he went a whole 6, 7 years, 8 years where he was dominating. That's when he was doing the 40 points per game, 50 points per game, and all of that. That's when he was completely dominating the game. He was told that his way of playing was not going to win. So he went to Philadelphia and started playing a little bit more team basketball, and he started scoring less, the same way Jordan had to score less to start winning. And that's how he had the best record in the NBA until he actually went to the Lakers and beat his own record 5 years earlier. Okay, now he only went to 6 finals, and the 6 of those finals, 4 of them was in his last 4 or 5 years in the NBA. So when he was playing in the finals, he was at the end of his career, the tail end of his career, where he was told he didn't have to score. He went to the finals, I think 3 times with Jerry West, and I believe he went twice with Elgin Baylor, who were the perimeter scorers for that team and the main scorers. So he took a step back to be a team player. Now, you guys love to use these stats as to show why somebody was actually doing something or not when you want to fit your narrative. But when you have context, you really understand Wilt Chamberlain was just playing his role. He was still averaging 20-something rebounds per game. He was still averaging 4 or 5 assists per game, and he was still blocking shots. You showed it the other day. He blocked Kareem Abdul-Jabbar 3 times in a row. Get out of here. So Wilt Chamberlain is Thanos. You had to build the team to stop him. You had to go get Bill Russell and the Celtics to stop him. He would be in way much more finals if it wasn't for Bill Russell and the Celtics.
Yeah, that's true. He definitely would have been.
But AB, you're still omitting some things. That's what I'm waiting on you.
No, because look at him here. Look. And when he won the finals MVP,
that's not telling the whole story, brother.
That is telling the story. All right, so tell me more.
So
so let me explain. Why was Wilt Chamberlain averaging less in the finals? What is your reasoning for why Wilt Chamberlain did not do what he's supposed to do in the finals and he was able to do in the regular season?
This quote is from Bill Russell, and you can look it up.
Okay.
When they faced each other and other teams started to take that same blueprint, they said, Wilt Chamberlain, if you bait him into believing that he's beating you with his numbers, you're going to win. Why? Because if Wilt is putting up the quadruple doubles and he's leading the team at points, assists, and rebounds and everything else, what is his teammates doing? Nothing. So Bill Russell said, "Hey guys, this is what we're going to do." Hold on, this is what we're going to do. I'm talking about Bill Russell. I didn't say this.
If Michael Jordan was doing everything, what was his teammates doing?
We're not talking about Michael Jordan. We're talking about
because you are hopping around and you're using false narratives.
We're talking about Wilt. Why are you bringing up Jordan?
Because you're saying you're saying that Wilt Chamberlain, basically the way he played the game by hogging the ball and taking all the shots and doing everything, cost his team to lose games.
That's correct? What cost him to lose. That's not a winning formula. You just said how long did it take him to wait?
I just explained to you that Michael Jordan had to do the same thing for him to start winning that Wilt Chamberlain did.
How long did it take him to get to the finals? You just said it took him 6 or 7 years.
Same time as Michael Jordan. Same time as Jordan.
We're talking about Wilt. We're not talking about Jordan. I
don't
know why y'all keep bringing.
We're making an easy comparison. It's a basketball conversation. We're talking about basketball.
We're using a comparison to show why you're wrong. You're wrong for what you're saying about Wilt Chamberlain.
So what you're telling me? Okay, so what you're telling me? Jordan had the same playing style as Wilt. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, Jordan had this. They said the same thing because when Jordan went up against
the same thing about Jordan.
When he went against Detroit.
So wait a minute. So Wilt.
As far as scoring, yes.
Hold on. So Wilt was shooting. Wilt was shooting from the mid-range like Jordan was.
Wilt was shooting everything.
Wilt was shooting everything.
Playing style.
Yes, he was shooting. He created the fadeaway. He created the fadeaway. He created the fadeaway.
Show me how many mid-range shots Wilt took in his career.
You can't because it doesn't exist. Same way we can't show Jordan. It doesn't exist.
You can look up Jordan. You can look up his mid-range.
You can't look up his mid-range. You can look up the last 4 years.
You can look up 97 and 98, and that's it. You can't look up 84. You can't look up 85.
His mid-range percentage, and they will show you in detail.
It doesn't exist. They did not keep a record because they didn't keep a record of it. They don't have that data.
I have the graph. I can send it to you.
No, you don't.
You got the last 4 years.
No, I don't. I have
you got the last 4 years.
I have his entire career.
All right, listen, DA. I just wait. DA, because I just told you this. No, I just told you. No, we're gonna get back to Wilt because this is what I'm explaining to you. I just told you that Wilt Chamberlain's first 5, 6, 7 years, he was dominating by scoring all these points. He had to shoot less and score less to help his team win. You say that you agree with that. You agree that he hogged the ball, he did all of that, he had to score less, he had to do that. But now you're saying because he scored less and now he's winning because he's in the finals now, right? The less he scored, the more finals he ended up being in, right? Now you're saying that's a knock on him for not scoring as much when Jordan had to do the same thing. Jordan had to score less to actually make the finals. Yes,
Jordan
he did.
No, they didn't.
No, they did not.
No, they did not. You capping. When Jordan made it to the playoffs,
were in the
his
80s.
points went up. No, they didn't. You capping. That's how I can know they don't play the same playing style because Jordan increased his scoring in the playoffs, increased his scoring in the finals. You can fact check that. Anywho, I'm going to get back to Wilt Chamberlain. So, Bill Russell said, and I quote, if you let Wilt go out there and put up the numbers, put up the stats, we will stop his teammates. So, when you look at it, yeah, Wilt had 40 on Russell, but who won the game? Bill Russell did. So, Wilt gets to the playoffs. He puts up 30. Remember, he averaged 30 points in the regular season. Playoffs, he go down to 22. Why is that? The defense can focus on him. His teammates are not getting shots off. When he played with Philly, he had 4 Hall of Famers. So he had enough help, but clearly he was not utilizing that help.
He averages 22 points because his last 3-4 years he was not scoring in the playoffs.
So you're telling me it's his last 3 years in the
finals. His
is
average went down because he was averaging 28, 30 points per game before that.
So
how did
he average 18 points per game in the finals?
Because
he was only taking like 7 to 10 shots a game.
Wait, hold on, DA. Are you talking about before he went to the Lakers?
Better.
Are you talking about before he went to the Lakers?
I'm using his entire career. When you break down Wilt Chamberlain,
his entire career didn't go in the finals. What did Wilt Chamberlain average in 1968 finals?
I don't know what he averaged in 1968. I'm using his entire point production from finals, playoffs.
Bring it up. You had it up, Brandon. Please. His 1967 average wasn't 18 points per game. It wasn't 15 points per game.
I didn't say 1967. Again, that's 1 year.
For the last 4 years, the last 4 finals were in his last 4 to 5 years of his career. He went to
with
the finals.
2 20-point-a-game scores.
With
2 20-point-a-game scores.
So wait a minute. So 67, wasn't that the year he won his first title?
Yes, and he was not averaging 18 points per game.
I'm not arguing that. Did he also lead his team in assists that year?
No, the next year he did, but I think he did lead his team. He led the league in assists.
I believe he led his team. I said team, not the league. He led his team. I don't know if he led his team or not,
but he definitely was one of the greatest passers.
When his coach said, "Wilt, you must do less," his coach had to tell him that. He led his team in assists. They won the championship. But when Wilt went back to trying to play the Wilt Chamberlain style, I'm gonna get the points, the assists, the rebounds. Bill Russell said, "Have at it, big fella. Get your 40."
No, he's
That's
not,
exactly what
they did. Like they did Jordan in the 80s.
Okay, Jordan points production.
You forget Jordan scored 63 and got beat.
And Jordan points went up too. His didn't go down. See, that's why you can't compare him and Wilt. You can't compare the two. There's no comparison
lost, swept.
But y'all talking about the point production.
Jordan never went to the finals outside of his prime.
Jordan did not go down.
Jordan didn't go to a finals outside of his prime.
What do you mean he didn't go to
Jordan
the finals
didn't play in the playoffs outside of his prime? Jordan didn't play in the playoffs because you're comparing Wilt Chamberlain. The argument is that you're giving Wilt Chamberlain discredit for playing outside of his prime. That's what you're doing.
So why didn't Jordan numbers go down in the finals?
Because Jordan never played outside of his prime. Jordan quit.
What do you keep talking about a prime? What does that have to do with the argument?
Because the prime means is that when
it doesn't.
This is a perfect example. If Michael Jordan plays those years where he doesn't quit, he doesn't have that high average. His average is high because he played less.
What facts do you have to prove that?
I'm telling you that because in 1998 Michael Jordan was the MVP, all defensive first team, all NBA first team. That means he was in his prime. That means he was in his prime. That was Wilt Chamberlain wasn't making all NBA and all defensive teams in 73. That's what I'm saying. That was the tail end of Wilt Chamberlain's career. He was not even making the all NBA team.
So because that's a center to a shooter.
But what I'm trying to explain to you is those were the times he was making the finals because he was on better teams. He had better teams. He had actually
telling me
Wilt.
He had 2 20-point scorers on that team.
Wasn't in his prime in the 60s when he won that chip.
He didn't make the finals in the 60s, so you can't use his finals numbers for the
60s. He won a title in the 60s.
No, he
exactly. What is he talking about?
He wasn't averaging 18 in that finals. That's what I'm trying to explain.
his prime. He was in his prime in the
No,
60s.
I'm telling you the time. No, I'm telling you the time that he wasn't averaging the 30 that you want him to average was when he wasn't in his prime.
Said he never went to the finals in the 60s. He won in 60s.
Johnny,
I told you he didn't.
LeBron's got them fucked up on what prime means.
Listen,
LeBron's got them fucked up on what prime means.
Listen.
How LeBron
Wilt Chamberlain went to the he went to the finals in 67 and 69. And actually in 69 he averaged over 20 points, and in 68 he averaged over 20 points and over 20 rebounds
at that time.
And he was averaging over 25, 30 points per game in the finals.
Okay, so again, he went to the finals in the 60s. That's what? That's two occasions, right?
Gotcha. And he was balling out. And he was balling out. He was Thanos then. He was Thanos then.
Okay, so he was Thanos in the 60s. What happened in the 70s?
And I just told you what happened in the 70s.
Because he had 2 20-point-a-game scores on his team, bro.
Okay. No.
He took that last year. He averaged 13 points on 7 shots and made 5 of them. 70% from the field, bro.
Why would you want to outscore 2 20-point scorers? The point I'm making is numbers still decreased regardless.
But
his numbers went down.
You're saying his numbers went down.
70% shooting.
We know that, but why are you saying that?
Really? 70% shooting for a center? I mean, come on, man.
See, look,
DeAndre Jordan shoots 90%.
These Jordan fans, he's a perfect example. Jordan fans
90%, cannot be bro, for real.
They cannot be objective. Look at
DeAndre Jordan's field goal percentage, and you tell me what it is.
God. That DeAndre Jordan has 30,000 points.
Nobody said he had
31,000.
He said field goal percentage.
So he's nowhere near Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was actually part of the offense.
He took 7 shots a game and hit 5. That's a 70% clip.
Okay, field goal percentage, right, for a center.
Yes. For a center,
DeAndre Jordan is in the 90s.
Does DeAndre Jordan shoot fucking fadeaways, man?
Nobody said he shot fadeaways.
Average over 6
Wilt Chamberlain does.
Yeah, he shoot fadeaways from
Wilt Chamberlain does
3 feet from the rim. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
What does that matter?
Yeah, Wilt just took shots inside the 3-point.
No. Bill Russell outsmarted Wilt. That's the point I'm making.
No,
Bill Russell,
better
team, bro.
He let him. Russell. I mean, you can say. No. I agree.
That's funny you say that, right? That's funny you say that, right?
A better team.
Okay,
but still,
let me ask you this: so who's the smarter player, Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen?
Jordan.
Why?
His IQ.
For what? How you determine that? The same way you just did what's it called? Bill Russell. Explain to us. How you said Bill Russell was better than
Scottie Pippen? When Scottie Pippen first came into the league, he was a bench player scoring 7 points per game, barely getting any PT. When Michael Jordan was a rookie, he led the Bulls in 4 of the major statistical categories.
So when Wilt Chamberlain was averaging 40 and 50 and Bill Russell wasn't, that don't count as IQ, right? That don't count as IQ. All of a sudden now you want to use stats for IQ. But now
you're comparing Jordan and Scottie.
No. I'm comparing
a rookie Jordan, a rookie Pippen.
No. I'm using the fact. I'm using the fact that when it comes to Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, stats don't matter. But now with Michael Jordan and Pippen, they do. Yes, you did. Because
no, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Because what makes Bill Russell? What makes Bill Russell? What makes?
I never said
his points went down because he took less shots.
No, it never went down. Bill Russell still scored 60.
Defense was significantly better.
No, man. Wilt Chamberlain still scored 60 on the Celtics. Stop it. He still scored 60 on the Celtics. Stop it.
Did they win?
But that's not what we're talking about. Winning. We're not talking about the winning. You're talking about IQ. You're talking about IQ.
Okay. Again, you just said he scored 60.
Right? So Jordan doesn't have a good IQ because he only went to 6 finals in 15 years. See?
Did he lose in the finals?
Who did he play?
Did he lose in the finals?
I mean, if everybody got a cakewalk like what he got, you would have an argument on who's 6-0.
In what way? What do you mean? So you're faulting Jordan playing in the
all right. That's all right.
Jordan off that team and put LeBron on it or Wilt on that Bulls team playing the same thing. Just switch those players. They still wouldn't be 6-0.
That's a slippery.
Is that what you telling me?
You have no.
Is that what you telling me?
Telling me what? Telling you what? What are you asking?
If you took Jordan off the Bulls and put Wilt or LeBron on that same team, that same time, playing the same thing, they wouldn't be 6-0.
Hell no, because neither one of them can duplicate Michael Jordan.
Lost
you
your
know better than that.
mind, bro.
You lost your mind because neither one of them play the style Michael Jordan plays. No, you lost your mind.
All right. Let me just move on to my top 25 list since we are already out of time.
Let's go.
All right, so this is my top 25 list from my requirements. So I got LeBron number 1, of course, because statistically and accolade wise, he's superior than everybody. But Jordan's right behind. Then we got Bill Russell, number 3. We got Kareem 4. Then Wilt is number 5, even though his postseason is significantly less. But the way he dominated in the regular season, added so many more points that he finished 5th. Then we got Duncan at 6. Magic is 7th. Dr. J at 8th. Then we got Shaq and Kobe rounding out the top 10. Then we got Hakeem and Bird. And then Hondo was number 13. Pippen was 14th. They hate on Pippen a lot, but what Pippen did on the court puts him in the top 15. Then you got Jerry West, number 15. Then you got Bob Pettit, Karl Malone, Elgin Baylor, KG. Oscar, which was in the top 10 in ESPN, he finished number 20th. Then we got KD and Steph Curry outside the top 20. And that's the reason, because, they're just not done playing yet.
Dwayne Wade's 25.
Yeah, he's 25. And who knows, if I do the next, 15, he might be booted out of the 25.
Wow.
D
Wade. Scottie Pippen's top 15.
Scottie Pippen did a lot in his career, a lot of awards, accolades, titles.
I keep explaining that to y'all. I keep explaining that to people.
Scottie Pippen has how many Finals MVPs versus Dwayne Wade?
He should have 2.
That's one.
He should have 2.
One Finals MVP is not going to make you a better player.
Iguodala has one more Finals MVP than
Steve Jordan.
Dwayne Wade led his team to the championship. How many times did Pippen lead his team to a championship?
6 times.
He at least made it to the conference finals without Jordan.
Pippen is not a role player. Pippen is not a role player.
In the 6th championship, Chicago Bulls have Scottie Pippen leads Michael Jordan every category but points.
Stop lying.
Pippen is not a role player. Okay. Pippen is not a role player.
That's
Michael Jordan led the Bulls in points and assists in their finals. Stop lying. Pippen has totals.
And the 6 playoffs that they won the championships and all the you don't have to talk about the finals. You have to make the finals.
Let's talk about the finals.
We have to make the finals. You have to make the finals. You have to make the finals. Scottie Pippen averaged more rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals than Michael Jordan in the 6 finals that
Jordan led them playoffs in points per game. He led them in assists.
That was it. That was just it. That was it.
Points and assists, exactly.
No points.
And assists.
Points, not for the playoffs. Not for the playoffs. Not for the playoffs. Not for the playoffs. No, he didn't.
Why is it hard for y'all to realize how good Pippen is?
And these are the same people. Yeah.
Pippen averaged 5 assists in their playoffs, in their finals run. Pippen has more totals. He played in the playoffs more.
Finals runs includes the first, second, and third round. It's not just the finals.
But he's a role
Scottie Pippen is number 1 in all those categories, but Michael. No, he's not. I got it. You won't put $100 on it. You won't put $100 on it.
You want me to
you won't put $100 on it.
You want me to put it up?
And the 91 playoffs, the 92 playoffs, the 93 playoffs, the 96 playoffs, the 97 playoffs, and the 98 playoffs.
What did Pippen average?
Scottie Pippen has.
What did he average in the 91 finals? What's his assists?
No, I said the playoff series. We're talking playoff series, bro. Playoff. Playoff. No, playoffs. No, we gotta be on the same page. We talking playoffs? Are we talking playoffs?
Any one of them. What was his average?
We're talking playoffs. We're going to talk playoffs. Okay, I'm going to bring it to you right now. I'm going to bring it to you right now.
Let's go.
I'm going to bring it to you right now. In the playoffs for 91, 92, 93, 96, 97, and 98.
No. Use the whole playoffs. Don't try to break it down.
No. I said the 6 championship playoffs. That's what I said.
That's moving.
No. I'm not moving the post because
you just said Finals MVP matters the most, and now you're trying to get away from it.
I'm not getting away from nothing. No, I'm not.
What you talking about? We're talking about the finals.
I'm talking about the whole.
We're talking about the playoffs. We're talking about the whole playoffs.
Jordan led them in assists.
No, I'm sorry. I'm telling you that the years that they were winning the championship, Scottie Pippen led them in all of that. That's what the important thing.
Pippen has more totals. It's right here.
Did. No,
it's
he
right
didn't.
here. It's right here.
Okay.
It's right
for those playoffs,
it's right here.
For those 6 playoffs,
it's right here.
Playoffs.
Here you go.
For the 6 playoffs that Michael Jordan played with Scottie Pippen and they won a championship, Scottie Pippen averaged 7.8 rebounds, Jordan 6.2. Scottie Pippen averaged 5.5 assists, Jordan averaged 5.4. Scottie Pippen averaged 1 block per game, Jordan averaged 0.8 blocks per game. No, he didn't.
Jordan had more.
Scottie Pippen averaged 2.1 steals per game, and Jordan averaged 1.9.
I have it right here.
In the 6 playoffs that Michael Jordan had with Scottie Pippen, and they won the championship.
I have it.
Scottie Pippen has 900 rebounds. Jordan has 700. And assists. Scottie has 642 in assists and 622 for Michael Jordan.
Talking about the 6 finals, man. Not 94, not 95,
right
not after. Just the 6, the 2 3-peats.
No, that's not.
You're not listening. You're showing this bullshit ass team, bro.
You don't have it. Not it.
Because you won't shut up and listen.
Because you're not showing the 6 playoffs. DA, you're not showing the 6 playoffs. You're not showing the 6 playoffs.
I got playoffs and finals.
No. I'm asking you to show me the 6 playoffs that they won the championships. Show me the 6 playoffs they won the championship with.
Let's move to the goalposts. I got playoffs.
No, that's not. That's what I asked for. That's what I asked for. Because that's the champ. Oh wait,
Pippen got more totals.
Did Jordan lead them to a championship in 1990?
1990-91, yes.
Jordan no, 1990. Did he lead them to a championship in 1990?
They didn't make the finals in 1990.
So why does those stats matter? So why do those stats matter? We're talking about the ones where they actually went to the finals in. We're talking about the 6 ones.
Why do the totals matter?
No, because we're talking about the time they won championship.
Okay, but we're talking about per game though.
No.
Average more.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
because
he did.
You get an average by going off the totals. If you don't have more totals, you can't have more average.
I'm pulling it
again.
Up right
they play the same amount of games.
Go pull up the 6 championship playoffs.
They played the same. Actually, Scottie Pippen played last game.
No, they played the same games.
Scottie went to the playoffs in 93-94 when Jordan was retired.
We're not talking
about
Are you not listening to the words that coming out of our mouth? We're not talking about. We're talking about the 6 finals runs.
Okay.
Come on now. 6
you keep talking about leading to championships, and now no. Why are we looking at playoffs when they didn't win a championship every playoff they played together? We're not looking at that. We're talking about who led them in assists when they won championships.
Jordan.
No, Scottie Pippen did.
How come he didn't?
Because Scottie Pippen averaged 5.5, Jordan averaged 5.4.
Okay. And Jordan got how many right here?
That is the all playoffs. We're not talking about all their playoffs because they win championship all their playoffs.
Okay. So now you got to move the goalposts.
No, we're not moving the goalposts.
We've been talking about the same thing. You're talking about something completely different.
We're talking about championships.
How are we moving the goalposts? We're talking about something completely
different. Jordan does not have the totals that Pippen has. Pippen has more totals, correct? I'll give you that. Jordan averaged more points per game, more assists per game.
Can I have a second without you speaking? Can I have a second without you speaking?
And Shaq averaged more points per game and more rebounds than Dwayne Wade. So Dwayne Wade did not. Dwayne Wade did not lead the Heat to a championship because he won the Finals MVP. The same way Iguodala didn't do it. Huh?
What was Shaq's point total?
Shaq total. What's his playoffs? Let's go to the playoffs. Now you look. Now you just won.
What was his point total? Tell me.
No. What was their point totals for the playoffs? Who has more average more points for the playoffs? Shaq. Who averaged more points for the playoffs? Shaq or Dwayne Wade? Who averaged more points than the playoffs? Add me. You told me because you just looked up those numbers. Who averaged more points for the playoffs? So do the whole playoffs.
Wade led them in points. What are you talking about?
No, for the whole playoffs, all their playoffs. Don't just pick up one playoffs because you just did that. Why are you
the
using
whole time
playoffs?
Shaq and D Wade played together?
No. The whole time that Shaq was playing because you that's
with Dwayne Wade. Wait, with Dwayne Wade, right?
Playing with Dwayne Wade. He averaged more rebounds than Dwayne Wade. He more blocks.
Nobody said anything about rebounds. We talking about points and assists.
Oh my God! See, we're talking about points and assists.
Who said anything about rebounds?
No, we're talking about leading your team. That's what we're talking about. Who's leading your team? He's not leading their team. And Scottie Pippen led the Bulls.
Scottie Pippen didn't lead the Bulls to shit.
Yes, he did.
No,
yes, he did. Yes,
no,
he did. Because the stats will tell you that. The stats
ain't no stats told you. I just showed you the stats.
No, you didn't show them stats. You didn't.
Show me yours.
You only used the two.
Show me yours. Show me yours.
I just showed it to you. I just gave it to you. I gave it to you.
No, you didn't.
And again, listen closely. Don't speak.
Where's the evidence?
Mute him.
Where is the evidence?
It's right here.
You can't hear the evidence because you're running your mouth.
I'm not listening. Show me. I'm not listening to anything. Can you show me?
That's your problem.
The 6 playoff runs.
Turn your screen. Turn it around. Let me see.
6 playoff runs.
Let me see.
The 6 playoff runs.
Show me.
Michael Jordan had is right here. There it is right here. Right there.
Show me. I'm not looking at no homemade meme. Pull that up on StatMuse. I'm not trusting
Why you're showing a homemade meme?
These come off.
StatMuse is not a homemade meme. This is not homemade. This is StatMuse.
That's Wikipedia shit.
This is
Wikipedia. Type in whatever you want on Wikipedia.
Okay, hold
on.
We got some time. I got time. Listen, go look it up. Go look it up. Go look up on StatMuse. Okay, go look this up on StatMuse. Go look this up right now. You got it on your phone. In 1991, I already did it. I already did it. Yes, I did. That's how I got these numbers.
That is a homemade meme.
That is not my numbers.
That is. Show me.
You know what? If you don't want to know, then you already got proven wrong.
Bro, you ain't showing me nothing.
You won't let me show you. You're not letting me. You're not letting me. I told you one game.
All right. We all know that Scottie Pippen during his finals runs had more assists, and he's rated higher than Dwayne Wade.
Exactly.
Like I don't know what the thing is with that. Why y'all hate on Scottie Pippen?
Ain't nobody hating on Scottie.
Even Jordan said he wouldn't win anything without Scottie Pippen. So I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So you
the leader.
And even Jordan said that
Phil Jackson said Scottie
Jordan was the tractor, Pippen was the trailer.
No, he wasn't.
Yes,
Scottie Pippen was the leader. That's what Phil Jackson said.
How? Wait a minute.
Because Phil Jackson said it.
Wait a minute.
Phil Jackson said it.
Wait a minute. He was the leader?
Michael says it. Phil Jackson said
it. Phil Jackson said he was the leader of the Bulls.
He was the leader.
Yes.
And Scottie Pippen said it.
And Scottie said it. And Tony Kukoc said it. And Tony Kukoc said it. Huh?
Everybody
Jordan has a higher PER. How was Pippen the leader when Jordan had a higher PER? Explain.
What does PER have to do with leadership?
Player efficiency rating.
What does that have to do with leadership?
28.6.
What does that have to do with leadership?
He led them on the court and off the court with his style of play.
That has nothing to do with leadership.
With his off the court status.
Exactly. With shit you can't prove.
But yet he can't win without Pippen. He can't win without Pippen.
You can't prove.
Ask the teammates. They'll tell you that.
No, they said Scottie Pippen. They all say Scottie
was the leader of that team.
They all said Scottie Pippen. Tony Kukoc said Scottie Pippen. Phil Jackson said it was Scottie Pippen.
No, they didn't.
Jerry Krause said it was Scottie Pippen.
No, they did not. No,
Jerry Reinsdorf said it was Scottie Pippen.
No, they did not. Y'all capping. I'm gonna pull up what Pippen said, and not Pippen. Phil said on the soundbite.
Don't pull up nothing because you
no. This Phil. This is Phil. This not me. Phil said this.
Phil said Michael Jordan is not as good as. Phil says Michael Jordan is not as good as Pippen. Phil said it's not. No, Phil didn't say nothing, but that Scottie Pippen was a better overall player.
Phil Jackson said Jordan led us to the title, not Pippen.
That's a lie.
No, it is.
All right, so this is the finals runs here.
Like I said, the same numbers I got.
Totals, not averages. Totals.
That's the average. They had the same amount of games.
116 games.
They had the same games.
That's totals.
That's 106. Okay. I know a lot of people, they go to school or something, but it's the same amount of games.
Mute him. Nobody wants to hear that.
Those are totals, not averages.
Mute him. Yeah, mute him for that nonsense.
All right, so it's clearly what we're saying. Scottie Pippen has more assists, steals, blocks, rebounds than Michael Jordan during the finals runs. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. And I don't know why you're getting so upset about that. This is all we were saying.
There's nothing to get upset over.
Like this is all we're saying.
Pippen said it right here.
Yeah, he's talking about the celebration. Look, he's talking about and Steve Kerr also said he took the last shot because Michael Jordan didn't want to. You gonna believe that too there? Steve Kerr said Michael Jordan didn't want to take the last shot and that same celebration.
And Steve Kerr was joking, but I see you omitted that.
Scottie Pippen was joking too.
That's okay.
Because Scottie Pippen obviously said that he was the leader of that team. Like,
and so did Phil Jackson. And so did Tony Kukoc. And so did Tony Kukoc.
We're gonna feel right here.
Yeah, I know. They're gonna feel like it. I got Phil saying it. I got the footage of it. It's there. It's official. He said not only did he say that Scottie was the leader, he said Scottie was better overall player than Michael Jordan.
He did.
Yes, he did.
He did.
The guy even had to reiterate. He said, "You mean better than Michael Jordan?" He said, "Yes, he's better than Michael Jordan." Yes, he did. He said it.
No, he did.
He said it.
And anywho, this graph right here is misleading because
Jordan averaged more assists per game.
Pippen had 5 assists per game in the playoffs and the finals. I got the graphs to prove it. Not only that, Michael Jordan's PER was 28.6 in the playoffs. Scottie Pippen was 18.6.
You don't have the 6 finals runs numbers.
That in and of itself shows that Michael Jordan was the leader.
You don't have it,
more points. He averaged more assists.
No, he didn't.
Led them in PER.
No, he didn't.
Jordan was better defensively. He got the finals MVP. Yes, he did. Scottie Pippen never hit a clutch shot in the finals. He wasn't a clutch player. He was great on defense. I will give him that. But Scottie was not a clutch player. That's why he sat on the bench when Phil Jackson drew the player for Tony Kukoc circa 1994. Thank you very much.
I see that we got a new member down here. What's going on, my friend? I see you downstairs. I mean, down at the bottom. What's good, bro? State your name and what you got to say.
Yo, what's going on? This is Ralph. Right now, I'm going to go get some groceries right now, but I wanted to get up in this before you logged on out. But I've been going back and forth with both of y'all really about who, my goat is Jordan, of course.
Right on,
because I mean it's a proven fact that his acolytes overshadows LeBron. Now longevity, I give that to LeBron 100%.
What accolades is this that overshadows LeBron?
You got final. You got your championship rings. You got your MVPs. You got scoring titles. I mean, you look at it above. You know what I'm saying? All the acolytes that LeBron do have. I mean, all defensive and all NBA. That's more of a longevity thing because the longer you're in there, if you're playing at a high level, you're gonna get selected to those teams.
So if you're good, you're basically gonna be all NBA. That's not longevity at all. So that's playing at a high level.
That's just like seasonal awards. That's like being
if you're playing at a high level, you're gonna be all NBA.
That's definitely longevity. Y'all know that.
That's
it is longevity because
Jordan never got an all NBA when he was older.
Jordan was playing offense and defense. LeBron ain't.
I'm just saying, but
the last championship
that's the best player.
It's a seasonal award. It can't be longevity.
That's not a longevity.
It's definitely longevity when you don't play defense. LeBron ain't been relevant.
That don't even make any
NBA
sense.
That
don't make any sense.
Oh my God!
Yes,
listen, an All NBA selection is 1 year, so that means every time you make an All NBA team, you did good for that one season. If you're the scoring title, that means you had the best points or the most points for one season. That's it. So why is 10 scoring titles not longevity, but 18 All NBAs is longevity?
Why does LeBron have one scoring title in 20 seasons?
Because
he does more
LeBron
than
James doesn't. He does more than score.
Does more than
He
score.
shoots the ball. He shoots the ball 20 times per game.
He doesn't shoot the ball like Jordan. That's why
he shoots the ball 20 times a game.
No, he doesn't. He averaged less than 20 for his career. So
LeBron James shot the ball 20 times per game. Look it up.
He shoots less than 20 for his career.
19.6 rounded up to 20.
That's
not 20.
Round up.
Yes,
now you want to.
All right. Let
But you want to round up with Chamberlain's number to 30.1. Go ahead, brother downstairs. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can't round up 22
My bad, Ralph.
30.
Go ahead, Ralph.
No, y'all go ahead.
My bad, Ralph.
22 to 30.
Nah, DH, he's just talking not like all NBA is not a longevity.
Bro, they don't want to hear that.
That's impossible.
LeBron ain't played defense
if that was the case, Kobe Bryant would have been all NBA the last 6 years of his season every year. There's no such thing as that.
Well, his injuries prevented him from being on that list.
But he was playing for 20 years, so that's not a longevity.
When you don't play a certain amount of games,
Vince Carter plays, but they're not all NBA. Like
Scotty missed.
That's not a longevity.
Well, they weren't good enough.
NBA.
I mean, Dirk.
Of course, that's what we're saying. They're not good enough.
enough.
That's what we're saying. You have to be one of the best players to be all NBA. That's not a longevity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all right. So
you're agreeing with us.
I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that away from LeBron. He does have the longevity thing. That's why he made that many amount of all NBAs. That's what I'm saying. In the totality of how many seasons that Jordan played, look how many all NBAs he had.
He has 11 out of 15 seasons.
11 out of 15.
Exactly.
LeBron,
So he's
18 out of
4.
19.
But LeBron had 18 out of 19.
Wait a minute. Are y'all using the seasons?
No, we're using NBA seasons.
Yes,
okay,
we're using NBA seasons.
Not full seasons played. Just
we're using NBA seasons.
Okay.
LeBron played 50 games and made all NBA 13.
No, hold on.
I see where my brother going.
Right. If you're gonna knock Jordan for playing the full
no
season,
one's knocking Jordan. We're just saying he don't have it.
You just said 11 out of 15. So you're using all seasons, right?
That's not knocking Jordan. That's a Jordan problem.
There's 2 seasons that Jordan wasn't qualified because he only played 17 games one year.
He qualified
only played
because
22
he got all NBA votes for it.
He wasn't qualified. You gotta play a certain amount of games to be qualified for these accolades. Yes, you do. That's why, for example, that's the reason why. That's why LeBron wouldn't have been qualified because he didn't play enough games.
You
have to play a certain amount of games.
That's wrong.
Michael Jordan got all.
You got to play
70%
of the season to be qualified for.
That's not true.
Yes.
Listen. Michael Jordan got all NBA votes in '95. He played 17 games.
Did he make the team?
He didn't get enough votes.
He didn't
play enough games like my man.
He didn't get enough votes, but he qualified to be all NBA because he got votes.
And again,
you understand
he didn't
that?
Play enough games to make it. So had he
that's a Jordan problem.
Had he
but
played 70
that's
games,
not an NBA rule. That's not an NBA rule like we're saying. Like he
you
got
can't-
votes
you can't-
for
you
it.
can't- you cannot use one
It
to
is a
fight
rule
the other.
because you have
That's
to
not
play
a rule.
70%. You have to
That's
play
for
70%.
that's for a
No,
seasonal
it's
scoring
safe.
title.
Look
That's
it
for a
up.
seasonal
All
scoring
right,
title.
so
That's not
okay.
an NBA rule.
So y'all feel
That's
comfortable.
for
Y'all feel comfortable.
all
Y'all feel
things.
comfortable praising a player that could play 82 games and be available for 82 games. But when Jordan's not available for 82 games, we're gonna knock it and say it doesn't count.
No, I didn't
No,
say it
nobody
didn't
said
count.
it didn't count.
Okay, so but that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
never said it
No,
didn't
but you just
count.
said it
Nobody
doesn't
said
count.
it
But we
didn't
said
count.
it. Yeah, because we said 15 seasons count. Y'all said they don't.
No, we didn't say that. We said if you're gonna use
Yeah, oh my
that,
God.
you got to use longevity
We
for LeBron.
no, my
No,
man
call it
asked you a
both ways.
question.
No, I'm
He asked
telling
you a
you that
question.
Jordan made 11 All NBAs in 15 seasons. You guys say we can't count 15 seasons, and I'm telling you, you can count
No,
them
no,
because
no.
it's not.
No,
It's
no,
no
no, no, no.
fault that
You
Jordan wasn't
misunderstand
available
it.
for those 2
You-
seasons.
You're misunderstanding. He asked you, were you counting full seasons? That's
He
what he
didn't hear
asked.
We're counting the seasons that Jordan has on his resume, which is 15.
Okay.
All right.
That's it. It's
That's
15.
all. That's
Okay.
that. He
So-
just asked you that
so-
question.
So
Okay,
in
that's what I'm
that
saying.
same way, in that same breath, we can count LeBron not making an all defensive team in the last 10 years. You can't have it both ways.
And we never said
never
anything
said anything
about
about
that.
that.
We never said anything
It's
about that.
like my man said, that's longevity. He's only playing on
It's
the
not
offensive
longevity.
end. Yes, it
Exactly.
is.
That
He's
shows you it's not
playing
longevity.
defense.
So
Yes,
why?
it
Wait,
is.
listen. How is it longevity if LeBron doesn't have a lot of All NBAs? I mean, all
How
defensive
come,
teams, and he's been playing his whole
how
career.
come he ain't been relevant on defense in the last 10 years? Explain that, please. Explain that.
Listen, he's not that he's
Come
not
on,
been
man, come
relevant.
on.
Just because you
All
don't
right.
make the all defensive team doesn't mean you're not relevant. That's
Yes, it
retarded.
does.
No, it
Yes,
doesn't.
It does. Yes,
All
it
right,
does.
so
If you
I'm gonna
consider
show
great.
you. I'm gonna show you guys. This is 1995, all awards, and when Jordan played 17 games, when you look at the All NBA votes, Michael Jordan is right here with 7 votes, so he
Okay.
qualified to be All NBA. So you could play 17
Are you
games and be
saying-
qualified to be
are
All
you saying
NBA.
he qualified because he got votes?
You said the votes count, right? You always talking about votes.
What
so
are
that's
you
voted,
talking
right?
about?
Again,
Of course, it
I'm
counts. He got
asking.
votes for it.
Okay,
If he didn't
okay,
get votes, he wouldn't have counted.
Okay, so wait. So let's see how many votes did LeBron get for All NBA these last 10 years? All defensive team. Let me see those. All defensive teams. How many times did he
What
get
does
voted?
that
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Jordan not qualifying for 17 games.
Wait. If you using that
All right.
criteria for Jordan,
Let's keep
LeBron
going because
didn't
you're not
make
talking about what we're
all
talking about.
defensive team.
No one
That's
said he
it.
was all
Nobody
defensive player. No
No
one said he
one's
didn't
saying
qualify.
that.
How
No
many
one's
votes did he
saying
get?
other than he didn't make the team because he wasn't a
many
top
votes
10
did he get?
defender.
You gotta
How
start
many-
listening, dude.
How many votes did he
not
get?
Start
listening,
listening.
bro.
No one's talking about that.
How
Who
many
said
votes did he
LeBron was
get?
the all defensive player this year?
Nobody's saying anything about LeBron.
I'm
This
asking.
All right,
should be a
Ralph,
winner
keep
now.
going
I'm
because
asking,
he just.
I'm
Yeah,
I don't
Ralph,
know
yeah,
what
because
you're
he
talking
can
about.
y'all prove
please,
that?
Ralph.
Hey, Ralph, they can't handle that pushback, bro.
What pushback?
What
You're not even
pushback?
talking
We
about
already said he
nothing.
was an all defensive player. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Nobody's saying anything about that. LeBron made 6
You're
all
talking
defensive.
to yourself.
Listen,
No,
how
LeBron
listen,
is trash
how
on
is
defense.
how is making all defensive selections or all NBA selections longevity, and LeBron James only has 6 all defensive selections?
And how many seasons?
Exactly.
And how many seasons?
So what does longevity have to do with it? How did he do this?
seasons has he made an all-defensive team? Is
He's
what I'm
made him
asking you.
6 out of 19 seasons. So
And he
what does
got
longevity?
five. He got
So
5
what does
first-team
longevity have to do?
all-defense. Got you. 5
So what
We're
does
first-team
talking about
all-defense.
longevity. What are
So
you
what
talking
does that
about?
have to
What
do
are
with
you talking about?
longevity?
No, just tell us what you're talking about.
He's not putting the same effort on the defensive end like he's doing on the offensive
What does
end.
that have to do with longevity?
Okay, you're using the offensive numbers to say he's great, but y'all won't talk about defense.
We're
Well,
using
we're
all
not using-
NBA's
all
team.
NBA is not just offense. All NBA
Why?
includes everything. It's overall production.
Pull up his defensive production. Show us that.
Oh
What
my
does that
goodness,
have to
dude.
do with longevity?
That's the point. He's playing longer on offense. It's longevity.
But he's not playing longer on defense. But he's not playing longer on
doing
defense.
nothing on defense. What the hell?
So you're saying the only reason LeBron's all NBA because he doesn't play defense. That's basically what you're saying.
Do y'all
Is
know-
that basically
do
what you're saying?
Do you know what LeBron's
Ralph, do you subscribe to that, Ralph? Do you think a player makes all NBA team and doesn't play no defense?
Which player has made all NBA didn't
Repeat
play
that
any
question.
defense at all?
Do you believe a player that makes the All NBA team plays no defense?
Yeah, LeBron.
Is it
All
possible to be in a
NBA,
top
I mean-
5 player and not play defense?
LeBron.
Yeah.
Who
LeBron.
didn't play any defense and was like literally a top 10 player in the league? Who just sat there and didn't play any defense and been a top 10 player in the league?
We just clearly LeBron's been voted by the media.
Yeah.
He plays no defense whatsoever.
Five all defensive first teams is top 10. 6 all defensive teams in total is top
Johnny,
10.
He
So
never
that's all
made
we're talking about.
made an all defensive team.
He haven't made it since he was with the Heat.
No, I think 1 year he made it in Cleveland. I think that's when he made his last one. I think, and I could be wrong. But
No,
yeah, he ain't played
his last
defense
one was
since Miami.
He hasn't been voted to the All NBA team. He's been
he was all
player.
defensive first team 3 out of the 4 years in Miami. So you're wrong there.
In Miami.
Yes.
He just said that.
I just said that.
Yeah,
he was all defensive.
He just said Miami.
And it was all NBA. It was all defensive second.
What does that have to do with longevity? Is my
he's
point.
Not playing defense.
I mean, you can be an all NBA. You can be all NBA and don't play defense. I mean,
who is on the all? Name the player that's on the all NBA team that plays no defense.
Westbrook don't play defense, and he made several all NBA teams.
He says Westbrook doesn't play defense.
Bro, stop! Don't start capping. You know damn well Westbrook.
Just because he's not an elite defensive player doesn't mean you don't play defense. James Harden led the league in steals.
Thank you. James Harden led the league in steals before. What are y'all talking about? Stephen Curry led the league. But Jordan steals titles means something. That means he played defense. But those guys, Stephen Curry has a steals title. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, y'all be jumping all over the place. Y'all don't be really concrete with your conversation. We started this by saying
I didn't never say I was.
Ralph.
He said he wasn't. He wasn't for sure about that. He was just saying.
Ralph, you started off by stating that the All NBA selection is a longevity stat, and y'all have yet to prove that it's a longevity stat. I don't understand.
He just sat here and said he's playing longer, just like James Harden.
No, but that has
James Harden 1 year.
What does that have to do with being an All NBA selected player?
Since then. So he just stated that
LeBron did not make the All NBA because of something he did in 2015. If he made the All NBA in 2022, it's because he was the top 15 player in 2020.
All right. So okay. So in 2021, LeBron defensive box plus or minus, he was rated number 7th in the league. So how long?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat it. And LeBron in 2021, he was rated number 7 in defensive box plus or minus. So he had to play a little bit of defense in 2021.
Where was AD that year? Where was he ranked?
We're talking about LeBron playing defense. You say he don't play no defense.
Defense. Where was AD ranked that year?
We don't care because we're talking about LeBron
he was top 10. He was top 10.
We're talking about LeBron playing defense.
He was top 10. You say he don't play any defense, so apparently in 2021.
So now wait a minute. Now LeBron's defense is because of AD.
Wait a minute. How many votes he get for all defensive team that year since he was number 7 in box plus minus? He should have got some votes, right?
He doesn't get votes because the media don't vote for him. That's why.
Like, okay, we're saying about his game when he was on the court. He was the 7th best player in box plus or minus.
The 10 players who make the all defensive team are not the only players who play defense.
Okay, but we're talking about LeBron right now. How many votes?
What was he in defensive win shares?
Thank you.
LeBron is number 2 all over. But go ahead. He's
I'm talking about that season.
2021. Go ahead. 2021.
21 defensive win shares. LeBron was that was in win shares. He was 8th in win shares in 2021.
Defensive win shares.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't get no votes
because the media
votes.
The all defensive players.
The media vote.
Wait a minute. The same media that got him in MVP rank and category.
When he hasn't
won in 2013.
Wait. No. So
he hasn't won one in 10 years.
Stop talking in circles.
So you telling me the same media that says, "Oh, LeBron's in the MVP candidacy. LeBron could be an MVP candidate."
And he was first team all defensive in 2013 as well.
That same media didn't give him any defensive votes.
No, they didn't.
In 2013, he was first team. He had the most votes.
Let's put it like this. The NBA actually had to change the rules on that because the media wouldn't vote for LeBron James for Defensive Player of the Year. They allowed the media to vote for all defensive player all defensive team as of 2014. LeBron didn't make another all defensive first team, nor did he make another team after 2014. The media has stopped LeBron James from getting all defensive selections. Yes.
But anyways, your narrative that LeBron hasn't played defense just got proven false.
No,
exactly.
It just got proven false with the actual numbers.
And that
his numbers throughout the year shows that he doesn't play defense.
He has to play.
Let me say he doesn't play consistent defense.
Exactly.
Oh my God! You asked for defensive win shares because you thought that was an important stat. He was top 10, but now he don't.
But he didn't get no votes though. Like he got MVP votes. Okay. Gotcha.
But again, so only the top 10 players are the only players that play defense.
We ain't talking about top 10. We're talking about
yes, LeBron. You are talking about the players that get votes.
No, we ain't.
We look at the actual numbers, and the numbers just show it.
LeBron
does get numbers.
How many voting numbers did he get?
He didn't get enough to be top 10. He didn't get enough to be top 10.
Who cares about what the media
No,
votes?
it's
Talk about play on the
my
court.
man Ralph
That's
just said
fine.
Hey,
So
go ahead, bro. You
again,
said he ain't consistent.
So again, my question to you is: if you're not in the top 10 votes and making the all defensive team, you don't play defense. Is that what you're saying?
LeBron is not in the top 10 votes because he doesn't play defense for the last 10
You
years.
know that because you're a
Okay,
LeBron hater.
in 2020.
That's good.
In
That's good.
2020,
how am I hating when it's facts?
Because you only talk about LeBron. So why about all the other players that are not in the top 10? Do they play defense?
All the other players in the GOAT debate?
Okay,
no,
all right.
That has nothing to do with it. That's what it is. Again,
why do y'all got to use other players to defend LeBron? Why
because
is
that? Because it's not the greatest of all.
Wait a minute.
Okay, all right,
Just say that.
All right. So in 2020, all right, DA, you be quiet now.
You can back off because you keep getting exposed.
Yeah, you're wrong, buddy.
You've been wrong.
All right.
It's too much.
Okay, all right. He said LeBron hasn't played in 10 years. So in 2020, his defensive box plus or minus, he was 17. So he was 17th best player in the league. And defensive win shares in 2020, he was A.
Zero in all
he was A. So he was in the top 10 in defensive win shares in 2020.
He averaged 1.5 steals and almost a block a game. That's what he always averaged. His average never changed.
And got 0 defensive votes.
Again, is the all defensive the only way to prove that somebody plays defense?
Those stats right there won't put you. Those stats won't put you in the defensive team.
So let me ask you.
Those stats right there won't put you in the defensive, the position he plays.
Again,
he plays
my question
forward,
my question to you is all defensive is the only way to determine if somebody's playing defense or not?
We're not talking about all those players. I'm talking about LeBron.
You're talking about making the votes. That's what we're talking about.
We just showed y'all the numbers.
Again, if you're not on the all defensive team, does that mean you don't play defense?
LeBron doesn't. That's what we're talking about.
He's not a consistent defensive. He's not consistent.
LeBron haters only worrying about LeBron because he doesn't care about no one else. I'm asking you, Ralph.
He's not. No. All defensive team states that you're the top defensive players on the team. It's not stating that you don't play.
No. I didn't say that. I'm asking you if you don't make the all defensive team, are you a player that doesn't play defense?
Not necessarily.
Okay, then so why are you doing that for LeBron? So why are you doing that for LeBron?
No. I'm not doing that. I'm saying he does. I've stated. I consistently stated. I say he's not consistent on defense.
But the stat says you're wrong. Also,
no, it don't.
It doesn't.
You can't go by stats all
he gets
the time,
less than a block and a steal and a half when you got other players that's getting better.
And he guarding the 7th player on the opposing team. Man, get out of here.
And then you got other players that's rated ahead of him on those defensive win shares and everything. They're going to get that spot.
Exactly.
I mean, there was like 7 people rated above him.
Yeah, and are any of those players on the all defensive team?
But how does that determine if you're on the all defensive team or not? That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
So I'm going to look. I'm going to look at 1998. I'm going to look at 1998, and we're going to see where Jordan is rated in the defensive box plus or minus.
Brandon, why you do
just
that?
So we can always go off of where Jordan is. Jordan is 41st. And he was all defensive first team. And we're going to go to defensive win shares. He was 6th.
What was Jordan?
Box.
He was 6th.
And what did he average in steals and blocks?
And what was his?
He averaged less than 1 block per game.
In 98, he averaged. Hold up. He averaged.
And where did it put him at?
0.5 blocks a game and 1.7 assists a game.
What was his defensive rating?
How much steals?
1.7 steals a game and 0.5 blocks a game. So like I said.
And compare that to the other players. See, they did back then. They did it as position, as shooting guard, small forward.
They do the same thing.
No, it's a positionless. It's a positionless league. It's different now.
NBA is
it is different. It is different. They do guard. They do.
That's only the All-Star game. That's only the All-Star game.
You guys have no information.
No. Look at the all defensive. Because even like centers, if that's the case,
it's 2 centers, 4 forwards, and 4 guards. That's
No,
what it is.
they haven't changed the All NBA selection.
Since Brandon omitted defensive rating, this is Michael Jordan's 98 defensive rating. It's below 100. Let's look at LeBron James real
That's
quick.
because they play at a slower pace. It's going to be lower.
Where's it ranked at?
It's going to be
Don't
lower.
start
It's going to be
making
lower.
excuses. Don't start
There's no
making
excuse.
excuses.
Where's it
Here's
ranked at?
LeBron James right here.
Where's it ranked at?
2001 defensive rating in 2021 right there. So let's put to bed with all the narratives and all the bull crap.
There's no narrative. We're giving you stats of.
You don't even know what
the same stat show Jordan was better.
You don't even know what they mean.
All right, so I'm gonna show you.
You don't know what they mean.
I'm not even paying attention to DA. So just like this says, it's a center and it's one center on first and second team. It's always been the same. They have not changed the requirements for all defensive teams. It's still one center and one center, as well as the All NBA. Like Joel Embiid was second team All NBA because there's only one center. And Jokic was first team. So the All NBA and All defensive team is just one center, two forwards, and two guards.
Exactly. They do two guards.
All right, now go back.
And
What's the other seasons as well? Because
that's every year. That's all the years. They have not changed it. It's just the All-Star game.
You just looked at one year though. Let's look at the other years.
That's how
look at the other years. You just looked at
come on.
It's 2021, bro. Y'all guys are not being
every year.
You guys cannot really have a decent conversation about that, bro. It's not crying. Y'all are literally not listening. Y'all are being
I'm having a decent conversation. I'm asking
like what are you talking like? It's every year. It's the same.
Every year.
It's the same. They have not changed requirements.
They choose 2 centers, 4 forwards, and 4 guards for all defensive team. That's it. That's it. So my question to you is, if you're not on all defensive team, what do you use to say somebody plays defense or not? Because they're not on the all defensive team. So how can
points scored versus the points you allow your opponents to either
I thought I already answered that.
Which is box plus minus, which is what we just
exactly. And LeBron James has been horrible in his defensive rating.
Top 10 last year.
I didn't
last year. His top 10 last year.
I said
106 to 99.
All right. Let Ralph talk because DA, I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
No, you know.
I said LeBron is not consistent.
He's not a consistent defensive player. That's what he's saying.
No,
he's not consistent.
What I'm saying.
But Ralph,
he's not saying that LeBron's
you can't deny that. You cannot deny that.
You can't deny.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't say no other different.
You can say that, but are you going to bring it with facts? What are you using to state that? I can say a lot of things. I can say I like this guy.
His like eye test.
There's plenty of times you see him in the game. Those are the facts. Look at the game. He has on defense.
I can say your eyes are lying to you, and they are. Because the stats don't say that.
Really? Really?
Come on, man.
Oh my God! Come on, dog.
Ralph, we see that there. We see that dude just letting people go right by him.
He has been lackluster on defense from time to time. Does he have his moments where he has?
That's every player.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all are pointing out LeBron James for stuff that everybody does. Like y'all not making no sense. If LeBron James is top 10, if he's top 10,
if you're gonna compare 2 players, here's my thing. Hold on. Here's my thing. If you're gonna compare these 2 players, who's been more consistent on the defensive end?
LeBron James has been very consistent on the defensive end.
Compared to Jordan and LeBron, who's been more consistent?
Show me the 19-year. Go show me the 19-year player that has been consistent on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey! Mention it. Hold on. Mentioning 19 years, I already told you he has the longevity. He has been the most consistent at a high level. Hey, hold on. Let me finish. At 19 seasons, he's had the biggest career as far as 19 seasons. He's been performing at a high level. I give him credit for that. That's the only thing I always stated in the group and everything that he has over Jordan. I've always said that.
Okay, so are you one of the people who thinks that LeBron just never played defense, or he's just an average defensive player?
He's not
his whole career.
Not consistent. I'll say
he's not consistent. Later in his career,
he's not like the average. He's a little bit above average of a defensive player. If I have to compare his whole 19 career
for a whole 19 career.
For a whole 19-year career.
I mean,
okay, who's a better defender? Who's a better defender, Joe Dumars or LeBron James?
Joe Dumars.
Over time. Joe Dumars has less all defensive selections.
He's still a better defender.
Who's a better defender?
Who's a better all defender?
No, yeah, I mean, because y'all was using all defensive before. LeBron has more all defensive selections.
No, I'm not using just all defensive. I'm using overall.
Joe Dumars don't average
not
more
all
steals
defensive.
Than LeBron. So Joe Dumars don't average more blocks and steals than LeBron. So Joe Dumars, you just said was better than LeBron. His stats don't show it.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You didn't say that? You didn't say Joe Dumars?
I didn't say that.
That was DA, right? Go ahead though. Continue. I'm listening. No,
now you go ahead. I already stated what I stated as far as his 19-year career.
Well, okay. Well, the reason
go ahead.
No, the reason I brought up year 19 is because obviously we all know that year 19 you're not going to get the greatest defensive player out there.
Tim Duncan did.
We're not. He was all defensive player in the year 19.
He played better defense than LeBron did.
Based off what?
I didn't never say he made all defense.
I don't know.
Based
Okay.
Pull up Tim Duncan's individual defensive win share.
Duncan is an amazing defender. Overall, he's a better defender than LeBron in his career.
That's year 19. And let's see who better. I promise you, Tim Duncan is better than him in year 19. Pull it up.
And what? Based off what?
Individual defensive win shares. I promise you, Duncan is higher than him. Pull it up.
Well, he should. He had a better team.
No,
playing with Kawhi. Yeah, team matters when defensive win shares.
Kawhi was a baby then.
Kawhi was two-time defensive player of the year.
Ralph,
not when Duncan was there.
Ralph,
not when Duncan was there.
Right, they use a team.
That was right after Duncan. He became that.
Kawhi was defensive player of the year when Duncan was there 2 times.
Okay, and
2
nah, probably.
100% fact.
Probably won.
100% fact. He was.
And AD was a top 5 defender with LeBron the year Giannis won defensive player of the year and the MVP.
So what year do you think Duncan retired?
Duncan retired in 16.
2016. No. So let me
go. So let's look at
it's 3.6. It's 3.6.
Where does he rank out of all the players?
Kawhi Leonard, defensive player of the years was. Hold up, let me get it because I could be wrong.
He won defensive player of the year 2016.
15 and 16, 2 years that Tim Duncan was there. So he won both of those defensive player of the years with Tim Duncan.
I stand wrong.
All right, so I'm gonna go look at Duncan's defensive win shares at year 19.
It was 3.6.
3.6. Okay.
No, where does he rank amongst the players?
No, you said it had to be better than LeBron. You said it had to be better than LeBron. That's what you said.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when we said that LeBron ranked higher than Jordan in 98, you still said it was Jordan. Jordan was 41st and LeBron was 7th.
Wait a minute. Defensive rating, who was higher?
We talking about
this is another defensive stat. You keep bringing it up.
We keep hopping up stats. We
look at one thing and you say something else.
I'm not hopping any steps. We're talking about Tim Duncan and LeBron year 19 because Jordan didn't play year 19. So we're talking about Duncan and LeBron.
LeBron was 2.3 in his last season.
Where did he rank? Where did Tim Duncan rank? Where did LeBron rank?
Hold on, wait. Defensive win shares. We gotta look this up. Hold on, defensive
win shares. LeBron was 2.3. All right. But anyways, that don't really matter. We already said Duncan was a better overall defensive player. Like when we say Duncan is an overall defensive player than LeBron James throughout the
he didn't make the all defensive team in 2016. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
He
didn't make the all defensive team. That was my point.
What are you talking about?
No, when was the last time Tim Duncan made all defensive team? It was 2013. It was the year 15-16. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
But year 19, he was a better defender than LeBron. That's the point I'm making.
But he wasn't all defensive player. How are you ranking it? You're not ranking all that.
That's fine.
Yeah, because when we use those same stats to say LeBron's a better defender, you don't count them. That's why. This is why. Ralph, do you see what I'm saying, Ralph?
Like you said.
I mean, why don't you just be consistent? Damn.
He's never consistent. I'm
definitely consistent.
LeBron averaged more rebounds and steals than Duncan in year 19. Like, are you gonna go off of that? Are you gonna go off of that?
Uncontested rebounds, yeah, I give you that.
Oh, see, like you gonna make another excuse.
You know what? We gotta get going.
You're gonna make another excuse.
DA's been fun.
Yeah.
He ain't been dropping no
Y'all
facts, bro.
don't even know about
You're
uncontested.
doing a lot of
Ignorant
complaining,
and
dude.
facts, bro.
You're doing a lot of complaining today. What's up with
That was
that?
a perfect example of a
Complaining
LeBron
about
hater.
what?
You don't
How
know
am I
nothing
hating?
about basketball. You bring
You
up
have
numbers
to lie
that
to
you
hate.
think.
What did I lie about? You have to lie to hate. Tell me
You
what.
nobody said you
you
have to lie
say
to
one
hate.
thing and then you say another. You say
lying,
defensive this,
You have
defensive
to
that.
lie. I
You're
ain't
going
lying about
around
nothing.
in
been
circles.
lying.
My fault.
You've
It's
been
not
lying.
my fault that y'all
You've
King
been
don't
lying.
play defense. Stop
You've
crying.
been lying.
I got
You've
too
been
much
lying.
pressure on you. It's too much
No, you
pressure.
don't.
Yes,
Okay,
it
if he
is.
doesn't,
I mean,
all right,
what's
if he
the
don't
point?
play, wait, if he doesn't play defense, why is LeBron ahead of Jordan and defensive win shares for their careers?
He's played longer, of course.
Oh,
Does
my
it take
God.
a rocket scientist to figure
Yeah,
that out?
like
The
defensive
fuck?
will shares,
God
you gotta put more context to that. You gotta do it per 48 if you're gonna do
Wait a
that.
minute.
AB
Michael
can't
Because
handle
Jordan.
you can
AB can't
because your
handle me.
defensive win shares can
Hold on,
grow
wait.
throughout the year that you play.
AB
So
can't handle
Michael
me, man.
Jordan's defensive win shares
AB
is
can't
per
handle me.
48.
basically 23rd in NBA. There's mad players in front of him. He played 15 seasons. Y'all don't want to
But
include that. He
but
played
like
15
I said,
seasons.
you're taking defensive win shares could go throughout longevity as well. You got to put context into that. You could do per 48. Do that
Thank you, Ralph.
and see where it's at.
There is no defensive win shares per 48. It doesn't exist. Y'all talking about stats that don't
Are
exist.
you serious?
Yes. There is only win
He's not
shares per
saying
48.
defensive per 48. He's talking about the per 48.
But we're talking about defensive win shares. There is no defensive win shares per 48.
When you don't play on the defensive side is what he's saying.
There is no defensive win shares per 48. It does not exist. It's not a stat that exists.
He never said
so
that.
why are we talking about it then?
He never said that. He's talking about him
Yes, he
playing
did.
longer.
There's a lot of players who play longer than LeBron is lower on the defensive win shares.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're not better than
So-
LeBron though. That's the difference.
We're talking about defensively. This is all defensively. This is not overall defensively. So LeBron is a better defender than those players.
Here's the thing: it's like whenever we talk about longevity, you bring up other players, but those other players not in the GOAT conversation, so it's irrelevant.
Yes, they are.
So
No,
that
they're
just
not.
makes it.
Dunk-
So that
no,
makes
Dunk is
LeBron
not in the
even
GOAT
higher.
conversation.
Hold on, wait.
So that makes
Dunk is
LeBron
not in
even
the
higher.
GOAT conversation.
Kobe's not in the GOAT
Dirk
conversation.
Nowitzki's not in the GOAT conversation.
Kobe's
Dirk
not in the GOAT
Nowitzki.
conversation. Hold on, wait. Kobe's not in the GOAT conversation.
Kobe in the GOAT conversation.
Okay. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's not in the GOAT conversation. No.
Let's be honest.
No.
Who was saying Kareem was the GOAT in 2014, 2015? Don't cap.
Kareem was
not
the
Jordan
GOAT.
fans. That's what you're saying. Not Jordan fans.
How many people did you hear them saying no?
There's a lot of people say Kareem's the best.
Oh my God!
When did you
how many people say
Kareem was the
doesn't mean it's fact. I don't care what a lot of people say.
Please tell me that.
You say LeBron don't play defense, but stats say he does.
He don't play defense.
The stats say he does.
He don't.
The stats say he does.
The stats clearly say he's
so
one of the best
So
defenders.
you're telling me 182 in individual defensive win shares this past season is playing defense? That's what you're trying to tell me right now.
In year 19,
who
was higher in year 19?
Tim Duncan in year 19
one player.
was number 7.
One player.
No,
one player.
You telling me 199?
You name one player.
You telling me that's defense in year 19?
3.6 is not top 7. 3.6 is not top 7 in 2016. You're lying.
He ranked 199 this past season. I got it pulled up. Don't play with me. Don't play with me.
All right, that's 1 year.
I keep the stick.
You talk about longevity. That's 1 year.
We're talking about Tim Duncan year 19, who was number 7 individual defensive win shares. LeBron year 19, 199 defensive win shares.
Who said that LeBron's a better defender than Tim Duncan?
Your man
Who said LeBron's a better defensive player than Tim Duncan?
No. I told me a player that makes the all defensive team at 19. That's what I said.
Tim Duncan.
Huh? He didn't make all defensive team.
You're right, but he was higher. Now,
exactly. So that's what
that's stop switching your story. You're constantly switching your criteria up. Every sentence. Every sentence you're switching your criteria up.
Why is he 199 in year 19?
I mean, he didn't have a good year. They had a terrible team. Okay, he wasn't top. Simple as that. Who
says LeBron James is a great defender in year 19? That's what I'm trying to explain.
Who's saying this?
Who's a great defender in year 19? Tim Duncan wasn't a great defender in year 19. Tim Duncan wasn't a great defender in year 19 by your stats because he didn't win no votes. He didn't get top 10. You just said that.
We're saying for a career, LeBron has been a good defender.
No,
Ralph said he's above average. We're saying that he was a good defender.
For a career, I give him his first stint in Miami. I even give him a little bit of Cleveland. But once he left Cleveland,
stop it. The man his stats and his accolades show that he's one of the greatest defenders in NBA.
I have to agree. Once he left Cleveland, he was an average defender at best.
Stop lying.
When he went into the postseason, it was completely different because in the regular season he coasted because he had to carry his team to the finals. So that's really
he didn't have to coast. He made 5 all defensive.
I'm talking about overall.
No, I'm talking about when he got older in 2016. He had to make sure he had enough energy for the finals because that's how. Because he knew he was going to find it.
2016, he was 32. Jordan made all defensive teams at 32. You telling me LeBron couldn't do that?
And we saw that he was 41st in defensive box plus or minus.
But why he didn't get all defensive teams?
Because the media votes.
Now Jordan is not good. We got to go to all defensive selections, right? But when Tim Duncan don't make all defensive teams,
proved that he did.
I mean,
my question is, who was a better defender at shooting guard than Jordan?
I must have hit him somewhere.
I guess we could add.
LeBron James has more all defensive first selections than David Robinson, than Maurice Cheeks, Joe Dumars, Dwight.
We're talking about defense.
We're talking about playing defense.
Okay.
We're talking defense.
You say he don't play defense.
Wait. The same one the media votes. That's what you're telling me.
The media started voting in 2016.
More than Sidney Moncrief, more than Kawhi Leonard, more than Tony Allen, more than Dikembe Mutombo, more than Serge Ibaka, more than Mookie Blaylock, more than Marcus Camby, more than Paul George, more than Anthony Davis, more than Rajon Rondo, more than Ron Artest, more than Joakim Noah, more than Paul Pressey, more than keep going, DeAndre Jordan, more than Alonzo Mourning, more than Ben Simmons, more than Doug Christie, more than Patrick Beverly, more than Tyson Chandler, more than A.K. Karolinko, more than Larry Nance, more than Raja Bell, more than Iguodala, more than Moses Malone, more than Tree Rollins, Bob Dandridge. These are all players that had a chance to win.
And I'm gonna tell you like this: every play you just named, LeBron is better than him.
So he's just above average, though.
He's better.
He's just above average.
So are those players average defenders? All those players I name are average defenders then?
Most of them.
Some of them. Some of them not.
Most of them.
Okay. But then by stats and by accolades, we prove that LeBron James is not just above average or not just, he's actually a great defender.
At 199, he's a great defender.
He's
not
a great defender.
We're talking about his career.
We're talking about his whole career, not a great defender.
Not a great defender.
You got
again. We
you
are
can't
using
be a great defender.
Not a great defender.
Defensive win shares. His defensive win shares is top 15. His accolades, his defensive all the things is also top 10. But the people in front of him are also the same thing.
And you realize
Tim Duncan's ahead of him.
Rebounding is a part of defense.
There is. Yes, it does. Because
it doesn't exist, Ralph.
Yes, it does.
You can't find.
It was invented by Justin Kubat.
Listen, you can't go to this guy.
It is a difference.
You can't go on Stat News and
find. Hold up. Let me just ask this question. Okay, if you're all defensive first team, how many? Just say all defensive first team players. How many players would you rank above LeBron James? Because he's just above average. Would you rank like 10 players above him? Would you rank like 5 above him?
Repeat
that again. Now, or are you saying
no? I'm just saying for his career. Would you? How many players would you rank above him? Would you rank like 5 above him?
15,
10,
above him.
15. Okay.
I would rank 20 above him.
Okay, 20. You okay? How many players you rank above LeBron, Ralph?
Defensive only.
Yeah, defensively.
Oh. Probably about between 10 to 15.
Okay. Maybe. All right. So he's a top 15 defensive player of all time. That's basically what you guys are saying.
If you want to say
all right. I'm cool with that. Okay, I'm cool with that. Thanks. That's the end of that.
Okay. Career-wise.
That's the end of that. That's the end of that. Okay.
I'll give you that.
Okay, we got you. We got you.
Don't say the last 10 seasons. Just don't say
that. Hey, hold up. I'm gonna stop you right there. Hey, DA. What do you call a 6-sided figure?
What do you call
A
a
hexagon.
six-sided figure?
Yeah, a
Hexagon,
hexagon.
right? What do you
Okay.
call an 8-sided figure?
An octagon.
All right. What do you call a 10-sided figure?
Where is this going? Get to the point.
Yeah,
Season gone for the Dallas
that's why
Cowboys.
I started
Season
laughing. I
gone for the
wanted to
Dallas
know.
Cowboys.
I said season gone for the Dallas Cowboys.
Hold on, say that again. I hear you.
Man, I
All
can't
right.
get with them.
6-sided figure is a hexagon. 8-sided figure is an octagon.
Yeah.
The star on the Dallas is a 10-sided figure. That's a season gone.
Hey, I can take the cowboy jokes, man. I don't. I'll take that. I'll take that one.
That's the
bro.
only thing I can't get with you, bro.
Listen. I can tell y'all this right now. The point of the show was to find a way to be objective, and what basically DA led Ralph to was to be the most objective people here in this whole show today. And Ralph, I listen, Ralph, what you stated is your opinion. We're never going to doubt you about your opinion, but we just want people to say, if you're going to state stuff, don't just say it just to say it. You have to have something to back it up. We don't just say things about LeBron James without backing it up with something. And we use that same criteria. As you can see, DA just hops around. He's just having fun with us. He likes to troll us. He's fine. He's one of our group members. We like to mess with DA. But at the end of the day, bro, you're allowed to say Michael Jordan is the GOAT for whatever right reason you say he's your GOAT. You feel me? We're never going to tell you can't have your reasons. But if you're going to have those reasons, you better have some stats or some facts to go behind them. And we all know that's what we all use is stats and accolades. So when we bring up LeBron, y'all seem to just literally forget all of this. Y'all just want to pick and choose when it's time to use the accolades, when it's time to use stats and all this. It's never a steady thing with y'all. Y'all are inconsistent when it comes to this conversation, man. That's just facts, bro. It's just facts.
Don't speak for me. Don't throw me that conversation.
Do not throw me in with them. That's them.
Y'all, and that's another thing about you Jordan fans. Y'all go solo quick when somebody else starts getting prepared. Y'all a team when it comes to trolling. But then when one get called out, it's no, that ain't me. I'm by myself.
I don't like the trolling thing. I could actually have a conversation about this, but once you start trolling, I stay away from you, man. I'm not.
I got you. No,
I mean, it's trolling on both sides, LeBron and Jordan.
Yeah, no,
it is.
That's some bad.
Yeah.
And
In the group, there's a lot of trolling, but when we come on here, we actually talk basketball. Like we don't really care about that. Just like they were saying, like LeBron didn't play defense. We brought up the stats. Okay, if this number means he plays defense, you just can't say he doesn't play any defense.
I didn't say he played. He didn't. Play.
No, that wasn't you. That was DA, and he's just jumping around.
We would never say
to get back to DA. To get back to DA on the Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. They played literally the same amount of playoff games as a Bull.
Yeah, he said
I think that actually Pippen might have played one less game because I think he had to sit out a game in the playoffs.
Yeah,
am I mistaken?
Their total playoffs. Scottie missed one game.
This is what we're basically talking about. The finals run.
6 finals
and he just could not wrap his mind around that.
Well, that's what he tried. He tried to say that Pippen played more games as a Bull. He didn't. Because Jordan played 10 playoff games before Pippen got there. And Pippen only played 10 games in the playoffs in '94, so they're the same.
But the thing about it is that he's not talking about the 6 finals runs. He's only going to talk about the 6 finals.
No, he didn't want to talk about that.
No, that's to say he's only going to talk about the 6 finals run when he's only going to use the finals. He's not going to use nothing else because in the finals, obviously Jordan's numbers are way better if you go by the finals, right? But because he can't just stick with the whole playoffs, he went to all the playoffs. And when you go to all playoffs, of course, Jordan did more. Scottie wasn't as good in his rookie season and his second season in the playoffs. So we get that. Nobody ever said that. That's the same. We've never said that, though. We just said the 6 playoff runs, Scottie led them in all the categories besides points, which is actually true. And that's not knocking Jordan for that. It's just showing how great Scottie Pippen is. And
he was basically saying Scottie wasn't that good.
He was a role player.
That's what he was saying. Like, he didn't give Scottie any credit for being, who he was. And he was rated high in our ranking system.
Pippen is rated higher on just about anybody's list than anybody.
I think you had him as 16th, and I had him as 14th.
Yep.
And he said, he can't be that high because he wasn't that good, basically.
And both of our subjective lists have Scottie Pippen outside the top 20. So you know what I'm saying? So we're not using this to put Scottie there. We're not doing anything to put Scottie there. Just because
we're just using numbers and accolades from the NBA. This is where the rating system get you at. And the reason LeBron's number 1 because he played longer than Jordan. That's why Jordan's number 2.
See, if you gotta throw that shit out there,
But you
there
know,
too,
we
man.
did
It's because there's
averages, we
players.
did totals, we
Look,
did
Vince
advanced.
Carter's played longer. Vince
So-
Carter and Robert Parrish has played longer than everybody, but their numbers they don't
Yeah.
add up. So you got just
So you
because you want
said-
to say LeBron's played longer. Well, where you want to say you want to put context in there? How many dudes 18 years average over 25 points a game? Name me one other person other than LeBron James. Please.
Nobody. Yeah. Go ahead, Ralph. You say you're gonna say something? Go ahead, Ralph.
You said you got LeBron number one because obviously he played longer.
That because he accomplished more. Basically, he accomplished more because he played
Because he
longer.
played longer. Yeah, he accomplished more with all that he's played as long as he's played. Because there's players that's played more than him, but he still accomplished more than them. So that's the whole point. So it's not even about the longevity matters, though. That's the thing, Ralph. For y'all to make it seem like because somebody couldn't play as long that we can't give the person the praise for playing long. We have to give them the greatness for that. That's a great act. That's a great achievement to have to play 18, 19 years at your prime.
Yeah.
But my thing is like you playing that long, that trumps everything else.
No,
Number
he's
one
accumulating this much. He's accumulated this much.
That's
He's accumulated all
played
these
that
all
long.
NBA
That's the-
all-star
Played that long.
points.
Karl Malone played that long.
Yeah.
Robert Parrish, Vince
That's the
Carter. There's a lot
straw.
of people.
That's the straw that broke the camel back, though, because there's still a bunch of things underneath that. It's not just because it's the fact that he was able to
But
play
there's-
18 years for long.
there's
The
he was able
best
to do
player
that.
on his team for 19 straight years, dude. Not 19 years in the league, just fucking coming off the bench and playing limited minutes, playing top minutes. The best player on your team for 19 consecutive years.
Well, you can say that to the same thing as Jordan. Every year he played, he was the best player.
And no doubt,
Yeah.
but he,
No, well, you can't say
but
that.
So,
because
I mean,
he wasn't
he
built.
wasn't the best
He
player.
ain't
He
built
wasn't the
the
best
same.
player in 2003. Stackhouse was better than him.
And 96, his second year, he didn't play that much. 95, he didn't play that much. So Jordan calls
you
himself
said 96. He
He
didn't play
meant
that
95.
86. 86
86.
and 95, he didn't play that long. So
Well,
those
Jordan
and
cost
then
himself
you know
in
when he came back
94.
in Washington, that's not a LeBron problem because Jordan didn't want to play that long, didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
Like how's that LeBron's fault?
that's what I'm
Because
saying. We
he's
can't do
continuing to
that.
play at a high level.
Yeah, and nobody does that about with Kobe. Nobody ever brings up Kobe's longevity. And Kobe's played 20 years.
Yep.
LeBron just passed Kobe in games last season, towards the end of the year, and Kareem has played 200 more games than LeBron, and LeBron's about
Robert
to pass
Parrish
him
has
in
played the
scoring.
most
Yeah.
games.
Yeah,
Robert
and Kevin
Parrish.
Garnett. And Kevin
Yeah.
Garnett got
Like,
drafted
there's
out of high
players-
school and played 20 years, and LeBron still trumps him in almost
How long
everything
did Jason
besides.
Kidd play? Didn't he play 18,
he
19
played
years?
for 19 years, I
19.
believe.
He played
Yeah.
19.
See, I mean, that's what I'm saying. And what was these guys doing in year 18?
Those
19?
players are not in the GOAT conversation though.
But that's what makes LeBron
That's
Except
what
for
we're
Kobe.
saying. That's
Kobe's
why
not.
he's
Kobe's
That's why
there.
he's
not.
the GOAT. Yeah.
Kobe's not.
Kobe
I
is.
say except for Kobe.
Duncan's not.
Yeah, I'm not
Ah.
saying LeBron
Yeah,
is the
Duncan's
greatest
not in
because
football,
he
yeah.
I
accumulated
put him
more
top 10,
stats.
but not GOAT conversation.
Who?
No.
Who? Kobe
Duncan.
or Duncan? Duncan.
Duncan, I'll put him in top 10, but he's not in GOAT conversation.
No.
GOAT
The GOAT-
conversation.
Yeah, he's
gotta be top
not
five.
in the GOAT conversation.
Listen,
But
the,
he
GOAT
got-
com-
he
the,
got-
the true GOAT conversation is these 7 players. It's Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Bird, Russell, and Wilt. Those are the guys that get them. And sometimes you'll get West and Dr. J. And then you get Kobe, if you want to add Kobe in there. But those are the people that usually get named in the GOAT conversation. It's a large list because they're all great. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all of us here have somebody
As far as
different
that,
as the GOAT.
look at Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete only played 10 seasons. Y'all don't want to talk about him though. They still use his stuff on teaching people how to dribble and pass, man.
But again, everybody has their impacts, right? So that's why I said, listen, you can have that. You can have your subjectiveness. You can say those things. You could value the scoring titles more than anything. That's fine. That's great to do. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do. But like I said, you have to stand behind it. Like,
I mean, hell, with
go show my non-bias.
Lou Alcindor could have played
Show my-
another
show
2
my
seasons
bias
if he
list.
wanted to.
Show my bias list right quick. Show my bias list so I can give y'all an example about how I'm biased. I'm biased.
Which
as
one's
fuck.
your bias list?
I'm biased as fuck when it comes to making this list. Trust me. I got Kobe 15th. That lets you know how biased I am.
Yeah,
That's about
really,
what I got.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
But
Okay,
I
look.
mean, if you,
So look, my
If you-
top when I did the objective list,
Yeah,
Magic
that's
or
biased
Bird.
as hell.
Magic and Bird didn't even make my top 10. But in reality, for me, they're top 5. I can't put 5 players before Magic and Bird. I just can't see how because of my biases. You feel me? I got Kareem 7th. I got Kareem 7th, and he's played 20 years with the longevity. But the thing about me is like, I'm gonna give you an example. For me, with Kareem, does Kareem have 6 MVPs if he played with Dr. J and the NBA was just one league? I don't know. Does he have 6 championships without Magic Johnson? I don't know. So that's why I kind of knock him. That's being biased. I'm not gonna lie. That's being biased.
At the same time, Kareem was there before.
That's true. Yep. Yeah, and he had a lot of
you can't knock him for getting Magic in the draft.
No, but he made 2 finals in 10 years.
One final.
And then he made 8 finals with Magic in 10 years.
He won 1 title before Magic and 5. No, and 4 with Magic. So.
Yeah, and Magic,
he was already a proven champion.
Yeah, that's true. We're just saying true. Like if he didn't, basically.
But that's why he ended up being knocked from not being top 3 or 4 to 7. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because for me, I feel like Wilt Chamberlain would have won more championships if he hadn't go against Bill Russell all those years. Like that, you know what I'm saying? So
I agree with that.
You see what I'm saying? So a perfect example, like Kobe. The thing with me with Kobe, does Kobe have 5 championships if he doesn't get traded to the Lakers, right? If he doesn't end up being on that team with Shaq and Phil Jackson, does he have those 3 championships, right? You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that knock Kobe out for me. Like I thought Elgin Baylor was great, but now I'm looking at it compared to everybody else. Elgin Baylor just has great stats. That's really it. But he was that great though in his era. So you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said.
Yeah, because I know you got Kobe number 15th. I got Kobe 3.
Exactly. So we can be subjective. We're not telling people they can't be. Kobe's 4. Go ahead. Tell us your top 5, Ralph. Go ahead.
I got Jordan, LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I got Kareem.
Mm-hmm.
I got
You said Kobe was 4.
Kobe. I got Magic.
Okay.
I got Bill.
Let's base it off with Tim Duncan and Kobe right here. Let's base it off of rings and league MVPs. Got the same amount of rings, and Duncan's got more league MVPs and more finals MVPs.
Yeah, overall, Duncan had a better career. Like,
so I mean,
overall, he had a better career.
I'm failing to understand why you would put Kobe ahead of Duncan.
Well, for me, it's basically the like eye test for me. Like if we go by like
it's the eye test and plus his longevity.
Well, I don't agree with the eye test shit either. It's because when you go with the eye test, you're basing it on somebody's eyes. Somebody might have 2010.
That's why I said that's why we made this list. That's why we made this list.
Yeah, Chad, that's what we're saying, Chad. That's what we're saying. People have their biases, right? We all have our biases.
That's why we made the list.
That's why we made the list to be objective, to see what it would look like if we tried to just be objective. If we tried to just take our eye test, throw it away. You know what I'm saying? All of that. If we just try to do that.
Because when you're using an eye test, man, that's going to go on what your favorite style of play is. Like, I'm a defensive guy. Well, that's what you're looking for.
But he's
not
not
looking at the other stats.
But he's not going to say Tim Duncan's a better defender than Jordan, which has more all defensive selections than Jordan, all this other stuff. So DA just talks whatever ESPN and NBC tells him to say.
He don't even do that. He go to stat after stat. Okay, LeBron better this. So let's go to this stat. Who's better at this stat? What's their ranking? I'm not talking about the same year. I'm talking about 10 years ago.
No,
he just jumps around.
But I get the Kobe thing, right? Because I hated Kobe. I could be honest. Like I say, I hated Kobe. I really did. I didn't like what he did to Shaq. I didn't like his attitude. I thought he was snobby. I thought he was arrogant.
Kobe's not a top 10 player.
I didn't think he played team basketball very well till later in his career. Now the late
just
Kobe,
like how Jordan did.
No, that's true. Yeah. But Jordan was better than Kobe.
I hated Jordan. I I was a Knicks fan. He killed us.
Yeah, I hated
him with a
passion. You're gonna say Jordan is the greatest because of the eye test. You have to put Kobe right under him because they do the same thing.
Not just based on the eye test.
I don't use the eye test. My thing is like more or less like leadership. Because the eye test is kind of really, really subjective. Because some people would say,
both
Kobe
about
shoots.
the same type of leader.
No. People would
as
say
far
Kobe
as the eye test, Allen Iverson looks better than all of them.
That's what I'm saying. Kobe shoots. His shot looks better than LeBron James, but LeBron James shoots better threes than him. So who really shoots better at 3-pointers? Because Kobe looks good.
But the thing is, everyone goes off the eye test, so that's the problem.
Exactly. That's what
I said. If you're going to say Jordan is better than LeBron because of the eye test, you have to have Kobe right under.
You do. That's true.
I'll give old buddy some props over here. He's a Jordan fan. At least he put LeBron second, or these clowns in the group
DA
I
said
mean,
he not even top
LeBron's
I'm
20.
not
gonna
even
be
top 25.
Yeah, he's
LeBron's top
Ralph
Yeah, no,
sounds more of a
I
basketball
would
number
say-
fan.
two.
He's
I
more of
would
a basketball fan.
Yeah, Ralph
just
is
like
Ralph is not a
just
LeBron
like,
hater. Ralph
yeah,
is not a LeBron hater. I can see that from conversating with him. You're not a LeBron hater. You actually appreciate LeBron, but it's the way you view it a little bit. It's still a little biased, but like I said, we all have our bias.
Yeah, we all like Chad. He has like
This is my first
Jerry
time
West is
on here,
what,
so
top
next
10?
time I have my numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have my
like I
numbers.
don't have Jerry
I'm
West
gonna
in
have
my
my
top
numbers. I got my
25,
pad
but
somewhere.
he's
I'm
a top
bringing it
15
next
player
week.
of all time.
Please do,
because I just did the numbers.
This is why we like to talk basketball, because if you listen to other basketball shows, people make hot takes without any real like validity. Something they just say stuff just to say stuff. So like like you said, you have your eye test, you have your criteria. That's what makes Jordan the GOAT, then LeBron, then Kareem, then Kobe, and we get it because you know what, you're not too off for what Brandon did. Brandon did the same thing. Kobe's in Brandon's top 3 because of that. The eye test. We all get it. I told you I'm subjective. I got Kobe 15th. My eye test says Kobe's a bitch.
I mean, he actually made a point about Duncan. I mean, yeah, looking at their whole career, Duncan.
Yeah, if you look at that,
but Duncan,
he has
averages,
a point. He does have a
accolades.
Point. Duncan is boring, right?
Kobe.
Duncan is boring. It's all fundamental.
Mr. Fundamental.
He's not trying to score.
That's exactly what
he's not trying to score 30 points. He's not trying to grab 20 rebounds. He just do whatever it takes to win. So it's kind of like, again, we all allowed to like what we like, bro. Nobody's trying to take that away from nobody, because we get people who tell us, oh, you can't take away subjectiveness or the eye test. We're not trying to take it away. We just want to see what the list would look like if you didn't have those criterias in there. That's all we're saying. You know what I mean? And we still challenge. Brandon, Chad, you need to go ahead. We're going to challenge you. Next week, you're going to bring your ass on with your criteria, and you're going to make it non-biased, not, you know what I'm saying? Not all this. You're going to make it non-motherfucking biased, and you're going to come on and use your non-biased criteria and rate your greatest players, and let's see if you can really be objective.
Yeah,
okay?
Do the top 10.
Okay, and Ralph, since you said you're more than welcome to join us every Sunday, we do the same thing. We actually went longer than we supposed to this week.
Yeah, we're supposed to go for an hour. It's been 2.5 hours.
But it's been fun.
Well, like I sent you a message, man, Brandon. I'm not tech savvy, so it took me a while to get on here.
All right, yeah. So next
I'm not
time,
gonna lie.
noon.
At least you had a quiet, at least you had a
Yeah.
quiet place, and you have a headset on, so you're being very respectful. So we appreciate that. So you're more than welcome. Like I said, we don't hate. You can have Michael as your GOAT. Like I said, bring the facts, bring the stats, and bring something. You know
Well,
what I'm
I got
saying?
it in the house. Like I said, this is the first time,
Well,
so
it's like
I'm not going in the house. I got 7
7.
boys, so we ain't going.
My top 7. My top 7.
Mm-hmm.
You could put them in any era, and they're gonna win, or they're gonna be a top player, and there's no doubt about that.
That's your subjectiveness. Make a criteria to prove it, please.
Hey, Ralph, right before we get off, if Jerry West played in the 90s, how many points a game would he average?
In the 90s?
Mind you, he averaged 27 for his career.
Oof.
No, is it 27? No, it's
Jerry West
27.
The logo, baby. Y'all keep sleeping on these people from the 60s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nah, he was
Both of
good
them
at
said
his era,
30.
but at the same time,
Both of them said 30. I say maybe like 15 at the most.
Yes, because
I
he
think
would be the second best
I look at
scorer
him like
besides
Mark
Jordan.
Price.
He's not that big. He's not a big guy. He's not going to be.
He would
He's
be
not
the
gonna
second
be
best
just-
scorer
He's about
behind
the
Michael
same
Jordan.
size as Mark Price. He could shoot very similar. They're very similar players. It's just that Jerry West was in a older time.
in a
He was
faster
able to
place
shoot
league.
that way.
All right, so let's do the
So-
100 possessions. Next week, we're going to bring the 100 possession. We're going to do the 100 possessions. We're going to do that. Or the 36 minutes. Which one y'all want to do? Which one y'all think is better? The per 36 or the 100?
Either way, there's no numbers on 100 possessions. So that time it was like 105 to 110. So it's going to be more.
Mhm.
But I think if we do 100 possessions or 36 minutes, it should balance each other out.
All right, so I'm gonna. Well, Brandon, can you do the 100 possessions since you're more technical than me? I'll do the 36 minutes, and we'll do the top 10 like we did before. And then you guys, you're more than welcome to bring your criteria next week. And also anybody on our Facebook, TikTok, YouTube channels, if you guys want to bring up your criteria, your top 10 list, bring it to us, man. Let's see what it's about, and let's see if you can truly be objective. We don't care if you're subjective or not. You can have your regular list, but just try it. It's for fun. That's what we do until the season starts, which is in a couple of weeks.
All right, then, guys. We go ahead and get off. It's been
Two
and a half hours.
All right, guys.
I got clips for YouTube, y'all. It's coming up soon.
All right, see you guys.
Peace, y'all. Yeah, man. How do I get out of here? Oh shoot. Oh.